for this session and of course for being part of the conference. I think it was wonderful. I mean, 93 sessions is not too much. Next time we'll have more of them, but okay, it's a good start. So maybe Sherry has a smile on her face. Maybe she can tell us why she's smiling, Sherry.
I'm just so happy and grateful that you led this, Vikram. It was absolutely amazing hearing from so many different people with so many different perspectives. And I just love that you had started off with Ken Cloke the very first day, who is a leader in mediation, who I have always admired a great deal. And then your final day included Barak Bush, and he's also a leader in mediation, and one of the first books I read when I started practicing mediation in the late 90s. And to see their different ways of going about and approaching mediation and approaching people, I think it's just a really powerful message for folks to see that we have all of these different ways of being and doing things, and that's okay. There's lots of different ways to transform people's lives and hold space for people. And seeing that, I thought, was just beautiful and powerful. So I thank you for that.
Thank you for being part of the whole thing. So there's all of us together. So now Nate was the first one to come in. No, Jeannie was the first one to come in. So Jeannie, or should I just, of course, no, I think Jeannie, please tell us overall big picture. Then we look at the finer things. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lolia. Hi, Elizabeth. It always helps if you people put your country next to it. So anyone listening, all those stereotypes they have about people from countries that should be taken care of. That's one reason. Yes, Jeannie. So you were saying something.
Yes, and I just wanted to build on what Sherry said and what you and I had been talking about, Vikram. And I just love, I was able to reconnect and connect and meet new people and reconnect with people in the field and people all over the world. And so what I think you've done is made the global mediation world more connected, smaller, if you will, and by bringing in so many voices, it really has been enlightening. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Perfect. Then Nate was the next one who came in. Nate, overall, big picture.
Thank you, Vikram. So it was my first time getting to know you, and then obviously the first mediation conference, and I was astounded at how many sessions you pulled together, the variety of topics and new mediators. So I actually connected with a lot of people. I went back. So Lisa, I specifically mentioned you because I went back to the session you had about creativity. And I found it an amazing learning opportunity. And I love the diversity of all the people and the countries and what we do and what we can still do and how we support each other. And I really like that. So thank you, Vikram. It was a beautiful thing.
No, that's really nice. Actually, the fact is that there's so much content on the channel, which of course, how to find it, we'll have, I give you a vague idea how you can do it. Of course, you'll have to search also on YouTube. So hi, Ansha. Hi, Mark. Hi, Isaac. So now Lisa was the next one in.
Hi.
Hi. So everyone's getting a chance to give their overall big picture thing based on when they came into the meeting. So Lisa, you're not looking too well. What's happened to you?
Oh no, I thought I would look great.
It's too early in the morning for you, is it?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Or maybe I just feel washed out because of the light. That's all.
The northern lights on top, or the one that Jeannie has, those northern lights.
I wish I had northern lights. They would be beautiful. I've never seen the northern lights. I want to see them sometime. So my takeaway, actually, I want to say, I love that this time you had a broad range of topics, as everyone was saying. So I really want to congratulate you on that, because I think having all of this and having it approached in maybe slightly different way, so there wasn't just, what we ordinarily have, but giving that wide range. I think that was incredible. And there was so much to choose from, and there was so much going on. I remember, in the beginning, he said he was only going to have it for 2 days a week. And then it turned out that he did it 5 days a week, and he kept adding topics and he kept adding topics, and it became such a big, big thing. So, for that, it's like, that's just amazing. And I did love the breadth, the width of topics, breadth, width, whatever, I don't know, just wide range of them, because there was something for everyone. If you think about it, there was something that anyone could find in this wide range of topics, and anyone could connect to. And then there were all these new faces, which is also always exciting. I think I love that about every time Vikram does a conference. There are new people that I get to know, and that's also very exciting.
Yeah. I think the where I have to take from is because Mark also kept saying this is third in a series. I'm trying to differentiate between the symposia and the conference. The idea of symposia is pick up a topic and have people from all over the world talk about that topic. Conference is let's pick up topics, all kinds of topics, varied topics. Let's discuss that. And then from the conference, the discussions we have, then we'll create symposia out of that. So already they're like colonization, decolonization has to be one, mediation, legislation has to be one. So we'll take from here, build on that, and then next year we'll have more topics, and that's how we go forward. So Lolia, you were the next one you came in, and after that Elizabeth. Hi Daniela. Yes, Lolia.
Hi Vikram. Hi everyone. So my takeaway, or what am I supposed to say?
Yes, the larger picture. And then we can go specifics to the topics later, but first the larger picture.
Okay, so my larger picture. Basically, I've never been to a mediation conference before, so this was my first experience. As you know, officially, I am a new mediator.
No one's new. No one's new at all.
Okay. Well, and so I was in Lagos, Nigeria, with my little bubble, thinking this is what mediation is all about. This is all it is. And coming here, it just like opened up my eyes, opened up my perspective on mediation. I mean, the global conversation here has been awesome. I didn't know how diverse mediation could be, and hearing it from different perspectives as well, people from different countries, the different conversations. It's just given me so much information to work with. I mean, I've subscribed to your YouTube channel already, and I go on there every now and then to watch a video. So it's enlightening me. It's giving me information I didn't know, before. And yeah, I feel like that's what a lot of people are just going to benefit from it as well. New mediators like myself. And yeah, so that's it's been awesome. I mean, seeing the whole, the global, everyone's coming together to have this conversation with you. I mean, you've done an awesome job. I mean, I don't know how you keep your energy up mentally, physically, but you've pulled it together. 90, what is this, 92?
93. This was 93, but we can cut out 3 of them because 3 of them did not take place because the 2 people at 2 sessions, someone had COVID, the other one they were stuck somewhere. So 3 I'll take out. I'll keep 90. I'm happy with 90. I'm okay with 90.
Even then, it's awesome. It's like a huge feat. I've never seen anything like this before. For me, it's awesome. I'm just so elated and so inspired. So I'm, yes, I'm for it. The next one, I'm here as well. And it's just been a great impact for me.
And you know that the next one is, of course, the World Mediators Conference is going to start on 18th May. I have told Ken
next
to please slot every year, slot your time for that. So that's going to happen. We'll have we're talking about other things which are going to happen between that time. So that's going to happen. But on the YouTube channel, the idea is, I keep telling people, please subscribe. The thing is that even if you don't know, suddenly it pops up, a notification pops up that I've gone live. So if you have time, you can join in. So at least just subscribe and subscribe to the notification so you get an idea there. So hello, Maji, Lily, Christina, we'll get you in. The idea is the way people came in, we're just talking about the larger picture on that, and then we'll go to specifics. So Elizabeth, please.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be here and to have been able to participate in this conference, which I truly believe has been excellent for raising awareness towards the mediation field by encouraging mediators to communicate knowledge and exchange and optimize their skills. I feel that in this conference really helps in the search for innovative mediation strategies. It's always great to be able to learn from each other and new strategies that we can use in this field. And I also think that this conference has been a way of promoting respectful intercultural understanding, which I truly appreciate as well. And in general, this is for sure a very nice way of delivering the message of peace across all nations. So thank you so much for organizing this event and allowing us and giving us the opportunities to join this and to meet so many knowledgeable and experienced mediators and be able to even the new ones, everyone, just to learn from each other. Thank you.
Now
so
we can
much.
say new because we have the old one. Umaji is like the old one. So then we can say new against that old. Of course, GP
I'm
is there.
new too,
That's there.
so I'm
I don't want to
just
say it in old to them, but I said no. But look, the thing is, this whole event happens because of all of you. I mean, that's I just put it all together. That's all I do. So, but
Thank
when she
you.
said, Lolia said, how do you do it? The only thing yesterday was the one that was long. The first session started at 11 o'clock, and it ended at the sessions ended at 3:40 in the evening. Next one, Varuk Bush wanted to come a little earlier, so 6:15 I started. It went up to 10:40. That was long. Yesterday was long. That got a little stretched. So it's okay, perfectly all right. So Yoncha, yes, please, the larger picture.
Yes. Vikram, firstly, great pleasure to be part of how colorful, splendid event. When I picked my subject, 3 or 5 years ago, this item was so popular, but this popularity has been increasing year by year. And for that reason, I choose it. But a very interesting point, I face it because when I look at or when I trying to following your sessions and touch upon basing the different subjects, so inspire me. So interesting, and not only regarding the directly mediation, but also, for instance, the negotiation or for instance, the arts connected within the mediation, or so different perspectives and so different subjects gather during your sessions, and I admire and. Not only me, but also the all concerns. I think via this conference, field learned, and I think by doing after the conference, will gather the beyond of the mediations or mediators general aim. And via this conference, I'm sure that we can seize the shaping our dreams of mediation, and I think we can construct the mediation vision 2026 and evaluation of mediators and mediation. As I mentioned before, future depends on the shaping dreams, and via this conference, I believe that we can seize the great aim, great construction, the construction point, I think, by means of conference. And we will be so lucky after that, because we seized it firstly. And I'm solely suggested to all concerns to be part of this conference, because if you want to seize the general perspective of the 2026 mediation vision, you can follow your conference.
Perfect. Thank you.
And
Yep.
thank you for your great pleasure.
Important
to be
thing,
part of.
Lisa, like you were saying, new people. Out of all the people here, only you and Isaac and Yoncha, they were the only people in the symposium last year. So we've got so many new people right here. Can you imagine? So that's a good thing that's happening. New people are coming in. The older
Yes.
ones are there. I'm not saying the older ones are going away. They're all there. So
Newcomers, new beginners, I think.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the mediation or the ethical, for instance, the senior in the mediation who came from the different countries, participated in your session. For that reason, we are so lucky. We have different knowledge regarding about their situations and their perspectives.
Yeah. So Nicola, the thing is, the format is that everyone, as they came in, they're going to talk about the larger picture. Nicola was there in the morning session and we had a nice discussion there. So he's going to take us through that later. But then Daniela, please.
Oh, yes. Okay. It's still morning here. I'm in New Orleans in the United States. So good morning and to everyone. I don't think I can really say anything more. People have really expressed eloquently what you, Vikram, did during this World Conference. I enjoy being able to get out of my US-centric perspective whenever I can. So just for that, seeing all of the representatives from different countries here is incredible. So I'm just very impressed by how you pulled this off on Zoom. When people are dealing with so many different situations in their home states, home countries, local and globally. So I just appreciated this. And I'll just say, Vikram, from a personal perspective, during the Ombuds versus Mediators panel, I was just so impressed by how you kept the conversation going. We were supposed to talk for 1 hour and it went for 2 hours because it was just so interesting to tease out all of the different issues. And then Vikram would come up with another great question that made us ponder what we had just said. So I just really appreciated all of that. So nice to see everyone. Thank you.
Daniel, welcome to my world. There was one episode of Evolution of a Mediator which went for 4 hours, 11 minutes without a break. So never come short of time on the shows. Please never do that. Okay. I don't know who came. I think Mark came in first, but Umaji is the senior person here. Let her, please. Umaji, what has been your experience? And look, but you'll have to unmute yourself. No, I think, okay, I'll lip read her and I'll tell you what she's saying. Yes, Umaji, please.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I thought you were unmuting. I'm sorry. Anyway, good evening. I mean, it's in India, it's evening, so I will say good evening to everyone. And Vikram, as everyone said, it's been a pleasure because, as in mediation, the main issue is to connect with people. And here we have been able to connect with everyone globally and listen to their perspectives. And so there was a chance to learn. I always believe that even though you don't like the word training, even when we do training, what we do is share a lot of knowledge and we get from the participants fresh ideas. And I think that was what was happening here. And more than that, as I'm sure everyone is in awe of the fact that you have so much energy, all 4-hour sessions or 2-hour sessions, you have the same energy level. And more than that, it was the topics. See, today, earlier in the day, I was also talking to Javad about this. Today, the main concern is it going to be aligned with the judicial system? How much of impact is the judicial system going to have on mediation? And then are we going to make it a profession? What is the integrity of this process? How are we going to ensure all that? So I think today we have reached a point where we have made people aware of mediation. More than that, it is how to make it a process which is holistic, which is accepted by the people. See, of course, there are a lot of cross-border issues that would matter. But I think addressing it at the grassroots level, reaching out to people and helping them to make use of the process. I think this conference is one step towards that because we've understood all the cultural issues in a way and we've understood how people are facing, whatever are the barriers to mediation or the potential in mediation. I think this was a great opportunity for all of us to express our views. And for that, of course, all of us are thankful to you. And I don't know whether anybody is going to listen to every episode fully, but I'm sure even if they log in for a few minutes, they are going to get something. So to that extent, I think we should all be grateful for what is happening, and hope that we have such conversations going on, because only then we'll be able to strengthen the position of mediation. That's what I think.
Absolutely. No, very nicely said. Yes, that's all. It is the idea was, like I said, let's get the discussion going. Idea is to just get the discussion. So if it's legislation or the judiciary or anything, we're just putting out an hour out there. After that hour, we'll develop it into a whole symposium, which is what Nicola and also we were talking about. That we'll develop it into a symposium after.
Yeah.
So not an issue at all. So that's what's going to keep happening. So Mark, please.
So hello, everybody. It is still morning here in Westport, Connecticut. So I have a couple of different thoughts. One of the first things, because I've been looking at alternative dispute resolution as a teacher for about 30 years at the law school level, I look for similarities in the many, many presentations that people have come to you, Vikram, to talk about. And many, many of those similarities are turning us inward, having us look inward. Michael Lang talks about reflection. Gabriella talks about constellations and what is going on inside of us. The nonviolent communication thing that I did, the first step is observe before judging. And Henry M. Palsky said the exact same thing in his process, observe before judging. Sherry yesterday was very eloquent about what's happening inside, as was Baruch Bush yesterday, what's happening inside of the people involved. So I think it's a wonderful thing for there to be a focus and a direction inward toward what's happening, not only with us as mediators, but what's happening with our clients. The second point is that the amazing wide, diverse and multicultural range of ideas and presenters and where they came from and what they're talking about. To me, it's so rich and wonderful. And it's just absolutely something that I get so much from when I go back and watch the various YouTubes. I find it to be tremendously inspiring to hear from somebody in another part of the world about something that I've been thinking about and talking about for a long time. The other related to that is the substance of the subject matter that people are talking about. Some people are talking about commercial, international, the definition of mediation, the meaning of what it is to be a mediator, environmental, international, family and divorce, juveniles, refugees. I mean, you can go on and on and on, but in every single context, there's something a little bit different that each of us brings to that mix. And I have to say, I have a little bit of a connection to theater. So some of the people like Christina who talked about theater, it's just absolutely wonderful. And art, Lisa talked about using art and creativity, and many other people did as well. I have to say, when I just listen to people saying those things, it blows my mind wide open. So that's cool. So finally, I just want to mention that I'm so happy that Zoom has shrunk our enormous world to the point where we could all be sitting here right now in this moment on this screen from all kinds of places in the world and all times of day. It's just amazing that, I think that we really have come to a point where we can make our connections and hopefully keep those connections, which I hope that we will be able to stay in touch with each other in whatever way that we can. So thank you, Vikram. You've done something really remarkable with these. I will call this conference, and I'll make sure to not mess up when I talk about a symposium.
Look, the format difference. We'll have different other formats coming up, but definitely this one. Right, so right. Lily, are you in a good mood today? Is there any banging up happening around your house, or yes, everything's okay?
Yes, I have a big dog that's disruptive. I've said on social media, Vikram, that this was life-changing for me because I love mediation, but I don't work in mediation. So I certainly am passionate about it and see the power of it. But in my small community, I don't see it happening that much, unfortunately. This has broadened my experience of it. Obviously, we've got people from all over the world. And so I feel very encouraged that there are people out there that are doing this work, and hopefully this will grow and grow and grow, because I think that mediation is really the answer to our problems, both inwardly and outwardly, personally and worldwide. So thank you for introducing me to all these wonderful people, all these wonderful talks and information. And I do agree with Uma. I would like to see this be a step toward the general public realizing how powerful mediation is. Because I don't know, most of you work in mediation, so you already are very involved. But like I said, in my small community, I'm not hearing about it. I'm not seeing it much. And I think it's the answer. So I would like to see somehow steps made so that the general public uses this wonderful, wonderful opportunity to create change in relationships. That's what I'm hoping. But thank you, Vikram, for all this work that you did. We're all just thrilled, and it really is a wonderful thing. And I look forward to being more involved. And I appreciate all the people that I've met. It's just been great all over the world. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lily. Of course, you are going to talk about the fact, and why people have to hear this is that because you are wanting to stay away from it, and I had to force you to participate in it, saying that you're not qualified. Qualification is not going to be an aspect ever in my discussions. So that was one thing. In terms of the way forward on community and all that, I'll just talk about it, because this is just, we are right now talking about what we've done, but way forward is already planned out. So I'll talk about that. So Christina, please, our theater person.
I want to greet today. Now here we have in Cyprus 5 o'clock, so p.m. Dear my colleagues worldwide, I want to hug you, really, to see you, maybe not online, offline one day, really. So thank you very much for nice, kind words, Mark. It was a pleasure for me also. And okay, all my colleagues cut out all my words, what I was actually I wanted to say. So I will be shortly, I guess. I will guess my speech will be like more. Once again, I confirm to ourselves and for myself that for people who want to be friends, work professionally, resolve conflicts, and speak at the conferences like this, Vikram, what you create, this was really, I'm excited all the time. There are no boundaries. So friendship, love, relationship, it is all real. And believe me, as we see, this is a free chart, and just, this is amazing. I'm looking at us and I see that I'm so proud of us, really. This is like just an action. This is like a wheel. If you want to do something in your life, this is an example, you can do that. And if you want also. I want to thank Vikram for bringing us together. We are all such different from different countries and cultures, but we are unique also. But we have something in common, something like conflict resolution, mediation, conciliation, negotiation, and also love for one's neighbor, and common religion, what I call be human. This is for me, this is a religion that really renovate us. So such meanings we learn from each other and become closer to different cultures and traditions. I want to thank Vikram and each of you, dear colleagues, whom I see, of course, now online in Zoom and in YouTube, who is watching us, to follow us and broaden, to become more and more. This is how Vikram sees, as I see. It is his goal to renovate worldwide.
I let you speak so much. It is not Vikram. So nicely you say Vikram ji. What happened to Vikram ji now?
Okay,
Uma ji, she actually uses G, and I like it so much. And what happened today, Christina? Where did that G go?
So Vikram ji, I will.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I will correct myself. Sorry.
People don't know G is just like respect. You respect and
Yes,
you say Vikram G. So
Vikram
that's
Ji.
what
I want to thank you one more time, and I'm really excited. I'm impressed with each of my colleagues. So I am too closer. Sometimes I'm in USA, sometimes I'm in Brazil, sometimes I am in India. I'm living on. I don't know where it's really, I'm appreciated. Thank you very much, Vikram.
Thank you, Christina.
Really, I want to share my good vibes with each of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christina. And of course, Nicola, you'll come later. First, Isaac, because Nicola has already been he's already, of course, spoken about it, but he has some other ideas which we are going to talk about. Yes, Isaac.
Okay, thank you, Vikram. Hello, everyone. It's actually afternoon in Ghana, so good afternoon. It's been awesome listening to all of you all over the world and having to listen different view and perspective when it comes to mediation. Is really awesome. Let me also commend our able mediator Vikram, for the excellent work he has done by removing all the borders and putting us together on one platform to share ideas. It is really commendable, and it's fascinating watching him to manage all the social media conversation and that, and making sure he's setting notification. Is really awesome. Vikram, good job, and we've really done well to make sure that mediators share ideas. It is also interesting to also, as mediators, to learn and relearn as to be able to achieve the Agenda 2026, which is really something that Vikram has put together, which is good, so that mediation will be the first preferred choice when it comes to dispute resolution around the world. And we say thank you, Vikram. And it's good to meet all of you. I hope one day we'll meet physically. Thank you, Vikram.
Wow, Isaac, that was the most serious thing that you said in all these months. So seriously. Let me tell everyone, so nice. Isaac actually sent me a message on Father's Day. That's when I said, something good is happening here. So thank you, Isaac. That was really nice of you. So Nicola, please.
Hello, everyone from Serbia, from a very, very, very warm afternoon in Serbia. And I hope you all had a great time with the conference. We discussed this morning about a couple of things, and it was, I don't know, I think it was a discussion that could have lasted more, but unfortunately all of us had to go about our day. But we were discussing about, let's start first with the World Mediation Day. And for I don't know, my idea was that since the Singapore Convention is the one thing that we are all excited about, even though it's almost 3 years since the signing, I think, yeah. And that 7th of August should be proclaimed as the World Mediation Day. So I'm going to leave that to you to further discuss it. And I don't know, let's start with that and go on further.
Yeah, absolutely. You know how democratic the system is. You can say what you want, I decide what to do. That's all. It's very democratic. But
yes,
no,
you showed me. You showed me this morning.
So interesting. So interesting thing that's come out is, one, there is going to be a World Mediation Day, and then every country will have a mediation day in that country. My concept was, like the World Mediators Day is because it's Ken Cloke and his birthday. Similarly, let's identify a mediator in a country 70 plus, has to be 70 plus, that's required, and has that respect and everything in that country, because let's put a face for a mediator. That's the important part, and that's something missing. But that might be difficult. I'm not saying that it's easy, because I've identified, of course, in India, and not Umaji, Mr. Panchu. So he's like he'll be the face in India. Similarly, look, the person, if it's the person is with us, I find that much better. Of course, there's so many people we might go into history and say, oh, those people are not with us anymore. Why not value the people who are with us? So that's one part of country wise. The other thing is that there is now the plan is to, let me put it out, which is what's going to happen, which is where I'm going to talk about what Lily just said. So this is what the situation now is. So there'll be mediation circles. So there's a World Mediation Circle. People become part of that down to the grassroots. So Lily's community, there will be a mediation circle. Look, one is these are Mediator Vikram mediation circles. Lily is doing something on her own in her own place. That's a different issue. She wants to be part of the larger whole that is happening. Most welcome. We'll set up something there. Maybe in that school, there will be a mediation circle in a school in your community. As we go along, workplaces and everything, let's create mediation circles. What is a mediation circle? One, we'll have to identify people within that space who have the mediator mindset, identify those who have the peacemaker mindset, and then create that culture around there and talk about mediation, and then take it forward, grow from the grassroots. Yes, and we've already got the global pool there. Let's all work together, and that's how it's going to happen. So whoever wants to be part of the mediation circles, please, the same Zoom link, Monday to Friday, please drop in. We'll discuss how you can participate, what you want to do. And maybe in this round, maybe it will not be not paying anything. There will be some payment required. Well, let's see how that works out. Because otherwise that support me continues, all free resources continue, all those things that have been happening continues. Here we will get a little serious now. Let's get on the ground, let's do some work. So things like there'll be a climate change mediation circle, which is the global, on the global level, at local level. So we'll just create lots of these mediation circles and let's see how it goes. I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen in a day. So that's the long-term thought process. Nicola wanted, of course, he was also saying there should be a physical conference kind of thing. So then we were thinking, of course, look, with MECON, nothing happens in a day. So it's at least a month-long activity. How is that going to work? So then we decided, let's have a situation that we move from place to place. So these mediation days that we'll have, we'll maybe work around them, and there'll be something happening in Cyprus, then move to Serbia, move to maybe go down to South Africa, whatever. Let's see. That's the long-term plan. I'm just putting it out there. So let's take people's thoughts on that. So again, we'll start with Jeannie. Jeannie, thoughts on this on the long term? Now we're looking forward.
I love that idea. I love the circles. I love the long term. I just think it's exactly what we need to be doing right now. So.
Well, that's okay. So that's acknowledgement, accepting, endorsement, everything done. Any thoughts come to you, please join in and tell us how we can take it forward.
Well, I think partly right now, Vikram, you're the hub for all of this. So that idea of spreading things a little bit and getting people's permission to share emails. And I like using LinkedIn as the vehicle for a lot of this. So LinkedIn and YouTube. So all of that makes a lot of sense. I think it's been accessible for folks. So the idea that it's free is also wonderful. I think there's more we could possibly do with all of the videos in terms of, I don't know, cataloging or figuring out how to make them usable for more folks and see where there might be gaps or others. But I think it's just, this has been an amazing experience and it's good grounding for our field.
Perfect. So any thoughts, Sherry, anything that you want to, in terms of thoughts, how do we take it forward? I've given you the broad framework, and
I love the idea of circles. Because you're offering an opportunity globally and bringing it back to the communities, I love that connection. I think all of that connection is so important. I see this also as an opportunity to collaborate with folks who may be doing similar things in the world. And I first think of the Rotary E-Club of World Peace, which meets every week. And I think that's a wonderful opportunity to invite folks involved in the Rotary Club of World Peace to this forum, and vice versa. Folks involved in the mediator circles and part of your World Mediator Conference may want to be speakers at the Rotary Club of World Peace or participate in the weekly meetings and be part of that. We also have the organization that Ken Cloke co-founded, Mediators Beyond Borders International, and I see these groups really being able to lift each other up and support each other. And so I just think the idea of circles I really love. And if we can expand the circle and connect with other circles, that would be really, really powerful.
The thing is, Sherry, the thing, my activity, why it's different is because when I speak to Ken Cloke and he talks about his experience, bureaucracy sets in organizations. The productivity comes down to 1/10, sometimes 1/100th of an individual. Look, I'm sitting here individually, I do this conference and things like that. So if there are 10,000 people involved, it should be at least 10,000 times more the activity. It comes down to actually 100, maybe 100 times. 10,000 don't add, multiply 10,000. The structure will be, of course, everyone who comes into the circle, I will definitely in some way connect to those people because I'm a little careful as whom we put out in relation to the mediation world. So that part of it in relation to the circles that we create. And otherwise, people, of course, people are out there, they will be identified and they'll go into all these meetings and seminars and other things that people, there's someone from Lebanon, she isn't here, she keeps telling me in the last symposium, she wasn't even willing to put a camera on. Oh, I'm too shy, I can't do this. Today she goes out, all kinds of conferences and competitions and everywhere. I must get her in. She'll talk about this. Whole concept changes. So idea is to bring people, good people out there and let them be, I mean, let people know about them, give them a space to talk about themselves, their work. So all that is going to be how it is going to be. So Elizabeth had something to say. Yes, Elizabeth. I don't know if I'm going in the right order or not, but all of you will come in. Elizabeth, anything on the long term, on the larger picture?
Yes, I actually think this is a really great way to engage together and connect with each other and create some network so that we can keep learning from each other. Just keep up the knowledge exchange. That's what we need now. And again, just to show the world that we're working together for the best of every community. So I love the idea. I'll be there.
Yeah, I tell you, this is, and it's why it's important for everyone and how it helps being connected to the community. I've been talking about this quite some time. The thing is that you are going to be in some way connecting people who have the mediator minds and identifying them. And in your community, communities are what? Workplaces, business communities, wherever. So you are known in that community as someone who is a mediator, practicing mediator, and you're identifying those who are not in that world. So in a way, you're mentoring also, but you're also being recognized by those communities when you're creating those circles. So then from there, there are going to be things that in terms of work, look, the whole idea was finally mediators have to get work. So you're identified, you're talking about mediation, but you're first connecting mediation and mediators to something that they understand and those people that they trust. So those could be simpler matters, but at least they connect to that person first. But let them do it. They need you. You come in as a co-mediator maybe. So they bring you in. So now you've connected to the community, you're doing work with the community, then more complex matters come in. Then you, maybe you're handling them on your own, but you might bring someone from that community whom you've identified, bring them in. Because there was a very nice session on master mediators at work, where Leila was a Weinstein Jams fellow, and she was actually shadowing these master mediators, and she's spoken about that. So how those people learn from various styles, different things, they learn from that. So I'm saying everyone benefits. It's not just the matter of going out and you're doing good things for the community. No, we're actually developing everyone's practice at the same time. So whatever way we are going to do it, we'll put it out, we'll create on social media. Otherwise, you get the user connected, but also get everyone doing. Look, one is the mediations that you will do. Then your role as mediators in various aspects will come up in communities and everything. So I'm looking at it from a much larger kind of thing. I don't think of it as I'm doing some real pro bono work for the community. We're not going to do any pro bono now. Or we might do pro bono, but we don't do anything for free. We won't do free. Pro bono we might do. We still might do. So yes, Nate, any ideas, any thoughts, any suggestions?
Apart from what's already been said, I really love the idea because I benefited so much from the different people and the different topics and the learning. And I like the community part. And I think we often, as mediators, because it's not always well known, it can get quite lonely. And a circle would give an interaction, it would give a global connection with different people. So yes, Vikram, I'm also in.
Yeah. Because I picked up a piece of paper and let's put circles together. And I said, look, this is going to be such a large network of things. I couldn't put it on the paper. So I said, forget it. I'm not going to put it there. But the interesting that came up with what Nicola was saying about, okay, and I was saying that let's look at people whom communities identify. So down to that circle in that school, that child who has a mediator mindset will celebrate that child's birthday as the mediation day for that particular circle. So let's recognize them, value them, let people know about it. Right from there till the global level. We have Ken on that end. We have that little one child in that school there. Let's celebrate all of them. So let's celebrate mediators at the same time as part of that. So I think that's, I mean, Lolia has something to say. Yes, Lolia, any thoughts, ideas, suggestions?
Oh, I don't have any. Well, it's not like I've experienced that before. I've not been in any mediation circle, or, like I said, I'm still new in this, so I'm learning as I go along. But I think it's a really good idea. I mean, I like the idea of mentorship, because obviously that's something that appeals to me, right now. Trying to learn the practice of mediation and learn from someone who's had years and years of experience. So I can definitely relate with that. And I think it's very beneficial, even though I do say I'm a new mediator, I'm still hopeful that I'm able to, excuse me, I'm still hopeful that I'm able to still impact someone else, so it's a string of, mentorship. Someone's mentoring me, I can mentor someone else. And we're in that, learning situation together. And of course, I think it sounds really good. I'm interested, I'm for it. So
basically,
yeah.
now look, Monday to Friday, 6:30 to
Yes.
8:30 India time. Zoom link remains the same Zoom link. Just drop in.
Okay.
We'll talk about which circles you want to be part of. Look, there's the World Mediator Circle. There'll be a Nigeria Mediator Circle. There'll be a Lagos Mediator Circle. There'll be whatever community you live in, whichever place. We'll create those circles. So whatever you want to create, so then we'll put it out. I mean, look, there'll be larger topics on a global level. So like I said, climate change, global circle, and then from mediation circle. And from there, people will have their local circles in that particular area. So there'll be lots of circles happening. We'll get the right people in. Of course, my little endorsement of the person is essential. That's the only little criteria. Everything else is okay. Please, everyone has to work together. But that's a little quality control standard that I have to put in. So anyone wants to be part of that, definitely they'll have to go through me. Otherwise, please, everyone should do those same activities on their own. Also, I mean, I am no one to control the people's activities, but people I'm very, 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 very selective about. It's, that. I mean, you people know that. It's not that they get everyone in kind of thing. So Lisa has so much to tell us. This the moment I said circles, Lisa said yes.
Yes, I did say yes. I love circles. Circles overlap and circles connect. And I love that Sherry got excited, like, oh yes, Sherry and I are like on the same page. So I'm like, so yeah, I do love circles. I of course, I think the idea is it's going to happen organically, just as you said. I think what is so wonderful is you put an idea out there and then you make it happen. I do want to sort of bring up, like, we want it to be accessible and free, right? I mean, as we said, but at some point, I want to bring up what is our responsibility in making sure that Vikram is not doing all of this every day, hour and hour and hour, and not getting anything for it. I mean, so I'm just putting that out there because I kind of feel like, if he's going to this extent to make all of this happen for mediation, we should think about, that. So, I mean,
that's the best thought you had.
No, I mean,
No, I tell you what, Lisa, what I did was,
let's not take advantage. We want to be paid as mediators, right? We want that, and we want our profession to be worthwhile. And I don't know what that would look like or how that looks like, because it's not an organization, but we also want it to be fair, because those are values that we have, and we want it to be whatever. And I don't know even why I'm putting it out there, because I'm really, I love free. I'm really promote free in everything I do.
Don't say that, Lisa. Lisa, you've supported, you've sent gifts also. So please don't say that. You also don't say that. No, actually, Lisa, I thought about this. Then I said, look, I don't want to leave anyone out only because I said, oh, you have to pay so much, only then you can be part of it. I don't want to leave anyone out. Everyone has a value to add to it. So what I did was I did that little concept, call it crowdfunding. I said, look, okay, put it out, whoever wants to give, whatever. So now I decided, well, let's keep two parts of it. Let's keep that free resource activity which has been happening. Let it go on the same way. That whole support me page on the website stays the same. So that's one activity. On this end, on the mediation circles, I'll work something out there. I'll have to do something there, because there is so much work that we have to do to reach when you say grassroots, imagine how far we have to reach, and each corner of the world where we have to reach. So there will be requirements. I keep saying maybe might have to put out Facebook ads, maybe Instagram ads. We don't know how that activity has to reach, because finally the user has to be involved. Right now we're in the mediation world, we're having these discussions, but now we have to get the user into the picture. So that part of it will definitely be something that we have to. I'll work that out. Maybe when we have our conversations, we'll work something out, because
it's not my nature to even bring up money, and I'm like, well, I don't know what's happening to me.
These are good thoughts. Whenever you have this thought, tell me. We'll put it live on YouTube. Yes, Mark, any thoughts? Of course you have lots of thoughts. Please tell us.
So I first, I do like the idea of circles. My thought on it is that if there was a circle of mediators who are involved in climate change, because I know absolutely nothing about mediation in the context of climate change, I would be very interested as a student to join. And maybe even if we're thinking of payment, I would pay to join and listen in, and not necessarily be part of, but to observe and to hear from people who are doing that work. And the reason why I think that's particularly helpful, let's say in my worldview, is that I might be able then to be able to do a climate change mediation, because I would then feel like, okay, I've because I've been doing mediation in other contexts for 40 years, but I've got a little bit of that, hesitation like Lily, where you don't do it in a particular subject area, you tend to be a little hesitant. But if I heard about it from people and they said, we're doing this, we're doing that, and this is how we approach it, and these are the kinds of ways we deal with, let's say, groups or whatever, it may be something that would be sufficiently, strengthening for me, and maybe I could even then join in one later, So I think it would be a nice way of improving people's practices who are already practicing in addition to, educating young people who are just coming in.
Yeah, Mark. No, good. That's the whole idea, that people can actually learn from each other and work together. And the only thing is that you have to identify what circles you would want to be part of. Think about that before you come in, and then it's down to, like I said, down to that community, that particular residential community or workplace community, or wherever you're part of, up to the world mediation circle part, whatever else comes in your mind, whatever kind of activity where we can create a mediation circle, let's put it out. It'll develop as we go along. Like-minded people will come together. Then based on that, then maybe we'll have, if whatever these up till now, there's been it's not unstructured to that extent, but okay, I've picked up topics and I'm doing that. Then maybe for that focus group, you can have some sessions. So there can be focus group. We're giving that example of climate change. So climate change related discussions can happen only with those people. Everyone might not want to be part of it. So we can have lots of those activities happening. So it's just not that one session that I do. Now you'll have thousands of them happening all over the world. Something like that. So that's the larger picture. But of course, Nicola and I discussed, and I said, look, when we do this global thing activity, golf courses have to be connected to that global meeting. So everyone has to identify golf courses around their places where we were going to have our meetings. So that is another activity you have to do before you come in. So Yoncha, any thoughts on this whole activity?
Yes, sure.
I'm sorry,
Really,
Yoncha. I'm sorry, Yoncha, just to interrupt you. Vikram never said it has to be a proper golf course. So if you have mini golf, we can let him play there.
Thank you, Nicola.
firstly, I love Nicola. I do believe in Singapore Convention on Mediation's importance. And secondly, when I'm following your ideas, I remembered the sustainable finance because I come from, the banking or finance sector. And why we pick up this the term of sustainable mediation or green mediation, for instance. And I do believe in the I'll be in the loop. I want to be in the loop. And if you create the big circle in the mediation, I think that this circle will bring creativity and will up-to-date information of mediators who come from in the different countries, and this big circle will reinforce the abilities or ties of the mediation who come from the different countries. I think I always want to be, for instance, member of the international associations, or want to be a small group regarding finance and banking sector. I do believe in the importance of the group, big circle. Yeah. And I think the gentleman said the second gentleman emphasized the second importance point. Maybe we can organize the seminar, face-to-face seminar in one country. Why not? Or time to time, every 6 months, we can organize the small local seminar located in one of the European country, or one of the Asian country, or one of the South American countries, or United States, wherever you want to. I think the symbolism of this circle will bring good lucks to all concerns. I believe. Maybe we can use this motto.
Look, think about it, Yoncha. Think of it this way. You have the Turkey mediation circle now, because obviously the law and everything that your circle would have. Now the Serbia mediation circle is talking about something to do with Turkey, so they have you as a resource people also. And if there is some maybe cross border mediation to happen, they work together. So I think between them there'll be interactions, and then which you said conferences. Each one can have their little conference happening on a specific thing. Could be banking mediation circle will have something on a global level, then maybe at a local level. So that's lots of such things we can put into place, so the activity multiplies. Because obviously, I mean, look, there'll be a limitation of what I can do, or Nicola can do, or Mark, or any one of us can do. But if you can all create these spaces and circles around and let them do their activities, if you have to give direction to people, I think finally it's about giving a certain direction, but at the same time, the right people giving it. So for me, putting together the right people that I feel are the right people. You people might think you're wrong people, but I think you're right people. So that's all that matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we are in the first corner step. I think via this circle, we can reach the global purpose, or beyond the global purpose.
Both ways. Look, it has to be global there, but at the local level also. The idea was the connection, local to global and global to local. Let everyone benefit. Someone was talking about one of those things, the ripple effect. The ripple going outwards and coming in, all those things will move together. So what I like is the way Sherry's looking at it. I like the way she looks. She's just feeling that. Look, Sherry, you should, when those thoughts come to you, those nice thoughts are coming to you, which they always do, say something, please.
I am just filled with so much gratitude for all of this. And I have to say that I just discovered that Jeannie is in Minneapolis. I'm like, how have I not met Jeannie in Minneapolis, Minnesota? And I live in Alexandria, Minnesota, which is 2 hours away. So I love this. Like, you're bringing people together globally and people who are actually relatively
next door.
local.
And on my screen, you both of you are together, so I can see both of you together. So that's the whole
Sherry's
idea.
closer to the Northern Lights. She's closer to the Northern Lights than I am.
Wow. So that's how it'll happen. That's how it'll happen. You'll have Minnesota mediation circle, and then of course you'll have your local one. She'll have a local one, and we'll develop from there. But we don't have some people I can't see on the screen, but they're there. But I haven't got their view. Anyone that I'm seeing, Daniela is. I can't see Daniela. Daniela, you're there. I can see you that you're there, but I can't see you. If you want to come in, please. Any thoughts? The ombuds mediation circle. I don't know whether ombuds and mediation. That discussion we've had. So something there.
Well, I'll just piggyback on what the last person said. Is that I wish that I have met a lot of ombuds, what we call ombuddies, around the U.S. and the world. So I feel that I have that community, and I just have such respect for the mediation world, because I did a really difficult mediation yesterday, and every time I shake my head and go, oh my gosh, I need to learn more and more about this. What Mark was talking about when he was talking about looking inwardly and what the participants are feeling inwardly, it just was so clear during this mediation, the power dynamics that were at play. I said one incorrect word, and afterwards I received 5 emails from one of the participants telling me that I had used an incorrect word. And so it's just, I have great respect for anyone engaging in this work. And I just feel humbled because every time I feel like I'm doing it incorrectly. So I really enjoy hearing from everyone, and lifelong learning, just keeping at it. So yeah, thank you.
Because I think, Daniela, what we are going to be doing is, because after our discussion, the concept that came out was that in terms of the ombuds also, there is that whole conflict coaching part, and there's the mediation part. So maybe that word ombuds is not something which is familiar to people all around the world. So maybe not take that word with us. That workplace mediator concept, to develop that. So workplace mediation circle, we'll call it that. So the ombuds who want to be participating in the mediation part of it, let's get them there. And of course, the other part of the conflict coaching and other thing that obviously continues. That's of course will keep happening. So things like that. We'll have to maybe, like I said, let's not get fixed with words. Also break them up if we have to, create circles around that also, so we can do that. Yes, Isaac, the serious man today. What do you have to say, Isaac? We don't like that serious one, okay? Isaac, let me tell
thank you.
That's not the
Thank you.
Isaac that I know.
I think it's important that as mediators we have to learn, relearn, and also connect among ourselves. It's really important, and it's good that you have suggested the mediation circle. Put some few things together. I'm looking at if it is possible for us to have a portal whereby all of us will be in the portal, and there will be various sections inside the portal. As you mentioned, if there are people involved in ombuds or workplace conflict, there are people within climate, their sections will be inside the portal whereby members will register on the portal. So this becomes an international mediation circle portal whereby everybody around the world will be on the portal.
Today, if you go and type mediationcircles.com or mediationcircle.com, you'll come to my website. Everything comes to mediatorvikram.com. So everything happens through there. But that domain name is there. I have that domain. That's not a problem. But let's not work on different domain names. Let's work on Mediator Vikram, because I just felt that let's just centralize that part of it, because all these are because ultimately there'll be a Ghana mediation circle. Now we can't have a different portal for that. So I said let's keep the general one there, but everything comes through Mediator Vikram. I'll And look, I'm the control freak. You know that. You've come to my.
Sure.
I'm the
I
control freak.
understand your part. I'm looking at how we can have, if you look, I don't know if you've checked mediate.com, the way they have their portal with all the professionals, and also professionals can also publish articles on their website and all that. That's what I'm
Exactly.
looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that
the thing is that look, when people work together, we'll create ways to work together, because when we go more specialized, like a very specific part of, say, if you're local in your around your, say, your hometown, there is a circle there. They'll be interested in a certain kind of things, but also the global thing. So to connect both the aspects together, we'll create some nice, there'll be interesting material that will come up for everyone, because I don't want people to be disconnected from the global part also, because what they are going to learn from that is important, but certain things at at the local level also are important. So we'll work it out. It's just a thought that I put out there. We'll develop on
yes,
it.
it's a good thought. And as Madam Lisa mentioned, you are doing this with all your time, energy, and everything, and the person who is bringing the ideas at some point must also be paid. So I'm looking at, if we are able to put this portal together, members who have to subscribe maybe annually, whereby even
That is the plan.
the
That is the plan. That is the plan.
yes.
Isaac, that's what I said. That activity there will be payments for sure, but how to work it out? Because I don't want Isaac to be left out and say, okay, oh, so and so sitting in that part of the world pays so much. Isaac should pay so much. I don't want all that. We'll work it out. I mean, that's not the problem. That we'll work that out. Main thing is that let's get the thought together. Thought is there. I have the larger picture there. Let's break it up into what are the what are the circles that you want to be part of. Let's put that out. So we'll put the message out. So and so circle, so and so is leading. Let's see, leading. So he's the mediators. So more people can join that, and then let's create them. We'll put the thought out. People will get added. How does the conference develop? I was sitting there. I said, well, let's have this meeting. Let's talk about the topics. The people kept coming in, the meetings, the topics kept coming in, the dates kept getting fixed. Same way, we'll keep working on it. It's just, sometimes it's better not to have the structure all ready, because let's keep that flexibility going as we go along. So everything will work out. So the important thing is, let's put the message out. Anyone wants to be part of it, let them come in. And of course, again, I'll have to keep repeating, they have to get a quality control stamp. That's all. That's the only one they come to me for. After that, whatever happens, I'm okay with. But that one stamp is really required. So, and Lily is, of course, in meditation right now. Lily, are you with us or you're not?
I'm right here with you. I like the idea of the circle, and just to touch on the finance end, I agree with Lisa. I don't usually talk about things like that, but yeah. So I think we could just have like a membership fee, and we could do something like that. But what I wanted to say is, I think that the original point of this whole conference and of maybe the circles is to connect mediators and to share the knowledge. And I love all that. But again, from my little reality, I want to see mediation out into the broader community. So I wonder if we could even have a circle that was very basic, that was mediators explaining what mediation is. And then maybe even, I think Jeannie Zimmer talked about YouTube and organizing some of these YouTubes that you've done in some fashion that the world out there could see them more and have more knowledge of them. But maybe even doing YouTubes, I don't know if this is any possibility at all, of video recording, as you're doing right now, mediations, so people can see the process. Of course, you'd have to have everybody agree on that, the participants. But I just feel like the world in general does not know the value of mediation. And if we could get that information out there, and YouTube would be a place to do that, people could see this is what mediation is. Oh, it's this powerful, powerful tool to create connection where there's disconnection. It could just be very life-changing for many, many people. So I would like to maybe go in that direction if possible.
I'll tell you three things that you came out with. First of all, of course, a membership thing. I looked at it. I said, look, I'll come out with a base figure and then index it to something. So I was looking at per capita, GDP, all those things, because I don't want, everyone to be involved. I don't want to say, oh, this is what you have to pay. So I'll work that out. On the YouTube thing, actually, if you go to my website, I've tried to give a little detail about the particular video, and the link to the video is right there. So try to catalog it because cataloging is what you were talking about. So if you go there, so there is a sort of cataloging here. So say if it's the Mediation Vision 2026, here it's simple. Just go to the particular link to the schedule, you'll find everything on the schedule. So that's not a problem. But under that, we had some things like the visionary #1, Ken Cloke, that YouTube links are available. Little reading that you'll have to do. On culture and traditions, we had that symposium. So you can click here, the entire playlist is there. You can go to the YouTube playlist, you can go right there. So just explore this, explore the whole thing. There's a whole YouTube section on this. So that YouTube section will tell you, let me see, where is that? There's one whole YouTube, where is it gone? Schedule of activities. Ooh. Okay, whatever, I mean, you'll find that. So this YouTube channel. So you'll find the links to the certain videos there, some description of those videos there. So just explore mediatorvikram.com. If you feel more things have to be put in, these are all playlists. Okay, the evolution of a media playlist. So you'll see all the videos on that playlist on YouTube, on In Conversation, The Beautiful Mind, and then all the other series that are there. You can click there and you go to the playlist. So all these series are there. There are lots of videos there. So then the symposium one has a special section in the website also. So you can see the names of the people. You can click on their names and you can actually go to the LinkedIn profiles. Then you have on Evolution of Mediator, the episode, you can click on the person and the YouTube link. So I've tried to catalog it as much as I could. So that part of it is something which is thing. The other thing that this is that it is a mediation circle. So this is not a mediator circle. So it is actually getting three things together. Of course, you have to get the mediator, the person with the mediator mindset, and the peacemaker, which I've tried to put that difference through, that the peacemaker is one who brings disputing parties together and also talks about mediation in the community. So bringing all that together is what the mediation circle does. So the peacemaker is there, the mediator is there, and the user is there. So that's why it's a mediation circle. So we will educate the user how we will do it. As like I said, we'll use mass media, put out smaller videos, we'll create shorter videos, circulate that in different languages. Every language should be covered in that. Maybe let's see what kind of funding comes in. Maybe an animation for children to see, a simple animation. I have the story in my mind, convert it into an animation. If funds don't come in, create it into just sketches and narrate it. Nicola can say, give that story in Serbian, Elizabeth in Spanish, and English, and someone in other language. So there's so many languages in the world, everyone can just speak it. We don't have to, everything doesn't have to be so perfect that we have to create that perfect animation before we reach the world. We'll create a little video around, just a Zoom meeting. We'll record it. I'll put the slides up and we'll narrate that story. I have the story in mind, animals and everything. So we'll reach the user. We'll find ways. The idea is to just start take that step going. And the other thing, what else? Anything else in your mind? The cataloging, the membership fee, and the user. Nicola has something to say. Yes, Nicola.
I have to go and play with my daughter now. She's been at the door for 3 times, and I have to say goodbye to everyone. But okay. Thank you. The conversation has been wonderful.
And Nicola, you'll have to think of it from your daughter's school perspective. Okay, one mediation circle in her school to start with, and then we'll move from there. So, yeah,
toddlers are the best group to mediate.
Exactly. We have to identify them there. We have to be able to take them from there. So yeah. We will.
Goodbye.
Okay, thanks, Nicola. Bye. So I think the point, what we actually, I should not have gone too much into this. We were supposed to talk about this conference. Anything specific in relation to the particular sessions? Anything that you want to highlight? Elizabeth, anything specific that you want to, any particular session or anything that you want to highlight? Okay, let's actually do. Yeah.
Regarding specifically to my topic, or
any of these, let's see, look at this page. Up till this page, anyone wants to just highlight anything that if they felt was something that was important, then they learned something, or want to suggest people to watch anything out of this. So we'll just move page to page, and then anyone, anything? Yep, Mark.
I actually was going to comment after Daniela just mentioned that, she used a word and somebody made comments to her of several emails after the mediation about the word she used. And it reminded me of Michael Lang's session and I'm pretty sure it was in the conference
Nice
where
session.
he talked about the guide to reflective practice and conflict resolution. You know, this might have actually gone back to when he was talking about his book, but I think he talked about it also during the conference. And what he did was he mapped out 9 steps or ingredients or whatever. And one of those, the one that resonated with me when Daniela was speaking about sort of the impact upon her, is Michael Lang's second one was be resilient. and it really reminded me of what has to happen with a mediator when you may be sort of judging yourself or feeling wiped out or, you know, low on energy because of something that happened. And number 2 on his list is be resilient. And then the final one, which doesn't totally apply to what Daniela was saying, was embrace failure as your mentor. I love the way that he captured from his whole lifetime of mediation a few nuggets. And that's what I think is so terrific, Vikram, about what you've done here is when you allow people to spend a few minutes talking about their work in each of those sessions, it adds to my ability to practice because I can think about something that Michael said or something that Baruch Bush said or any number of other people said, because it then helps to give us a toolkit, so to speak, including the toolkits from the lady in Ireland, Jerry O'Sullivan, I think her name is. Her book was Mediator's Toolkit. So I just find this to be really, really empowering for each of us. And so I'm glad that Daniela mentioned that, because I can't tell you how many times I've come away from a mediation feeling like, oh my God, what did I do? Or how did I do this or whatever? And from now on, I'm going to call you Vikram G, because I think I got that.
You don't
right.
have to. You don't have to. You don't have to. You got the gray hair. When Christina gets the gray hair, she doesn't have to call me. But up
I know,
till then,
you're not quite as gray as I am. I can thank my mother for those genes.
but this thing on the, I think that master mediators at work, what Leila pointed out, I think everyone should look at that, because she's looked at, say, I think 3 or 4 of those mediators, and each of them bringing in different things, but the common thread, like humility coming through in all of them, but still having different styles, how they did it. So I think, Daniela, you should, all of you should watch that. That was a very nice session to put that across. And of course, Michael Lang's, you'll find that on the sheet. Michael Lang, of course, he's put that out well. So maybe I think what we can do is instead, maybe each one can just tell us about the ones that were highlights for them. So maybe whoever wants to start is Lily. Do you want to talk about it? The ones that, any sessions that you want to recommend or what you took away from any of the sessions?
Yeah, and I wanted to comment.
Yeah.
I wanted to comment on something Mark had said about the NVC concept of all of this starts within us. And Henry Yampolsky talks about that. And of course, he has the book Dissolving Conflict from Within, which I just happened to have gotten in the mail yesterday and read the foreword and introduction last night. And it's very, very powerful. And so for me, mediation really is about observing, and then that creates awareness. And that really starts with us, the mediator, and then that goes to looking at the people that we're mediating with. So thank you for saying that and bringing that up, Mark. And I did really appreciate the talk that Henry did and being able to be part of that. So again, Vikram, I knew Henry from LinkedIn. I knew who he was. I knew about his book. I had already ordered it. But just to get to sit and talk with him was very powerful for me, and to hear what he had to say and share a little bit of his story. So that was a great experience for me. So thank you.
Yeah. What's going to happen now is, because on the sheet right now, I used to hide the column with the participants because I don't know who all was going to participate. Now I'm going to put the actual names here who participated. So you can search Henry also. Like you can search, Henry was on this one. So you use the term, someone wants to search Henry, they can find it. But I haven't finished all of them. So I'll have a look at all of them and add those there. So Michael Lang obviously is on the sheet here only. So you can search Michael Lang and you'll find Michael Lang there. So like here we'll find Michael Lang. And then what else? Anything else specific? Lily, nothing else? Any other highlight that you want to put across? Okay, Elizabeth, anything specific?
Can I just say thank you very much? I have to go. I have an issue that just came up, but I really appreciated all of this conversation.
Right. See you, Daniela. Thank you very much for being part of the conference.
Thank you, Vikram.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So,
I wanted to thank you as well for all this. And now we have all this material, these resources that we can access and keep learning. So thank you. I will be watching as many, if I can, all of them, all of your recordings.
Well, I think the people actually don't know about all of them because yesterday there was Ruzana from Kazakhstan. We were talking about ethnic conflict, ethnic disputes and mediation, and she was talking about certain things that she's doing. And there were actually, we had one session in the last symposium, Shadia, who works in such conflict areas. So I sent her the link. Then there was Hans in the heart soul spirituality thing. He works on those areas. I sent her the link. So actually people, I think, may not be able to find things. So that's why I think that cataloging part, I think we need to do, people have to get involved. Although you can search on YouTube and you can normally find the term, and I think that can happen, but I think cataloging happens. So thanks, Elizabeth, for coming in and of
Thank
course
you
being
so
part of the
much.
conference. See you. Bye. And Yoncha also wants to leave. She wants to say bye.
Yeah, I have to
Yep.
leave. Very,
Yep,
very
perfect.
pleased to meet you.
Thank
See
you,
you
Yoncha.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
I think the important part was this one. Everyone talking about the particular sessions that they were, which were important for them, which we missed out. I went too much into the mediation circles, I think. But no, it's not late. Lolia is going to tell us about some of the ones that she's seen.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to second what Mark said. I'm going to start referring to you as Vikram G. I've always wanted to have, I've always wanted to call someone that, because I know I watch a lot of Bollywood, so I know what it means. I found the peace building versus mediation session quite interesting. Not like I've been guilty of using those words interchangeably, but having that understanding, like someone actually explaining it properly, was quite beneficial for me, because I didn't know the difference between the two of them, but listening to that session and understanding it gave me a better perspective on how they both work. So I don't make the mistake of using them interchangeably, thinking that they're the same thing. And then I also enjoyed the mediation and movies. So I watched that one because I'm a movie buff as well. And it was quite interesting because immediately I finished watching the session, I went online to Google because I was like, there has to be something out there that has a movie or some, film sort of thing that has mediation as its main subject matter. And I found that there's like a reality TV show called The Mediators. And it's quite new. It was just last year. And they have Ice-T. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's supposed to be like a popular Hollywood. Yeah. So he's like the host of the show. And I think I'm going to start watching it to kind of see if they're really mimicking what really happens with mediation. I don't know if it's in the sessions, they're recording them, whether they have the content of the parties or not. But I think it's, with off the back of watching that, session on mediation and movies, I found that out. But yes, in general, the whole YouTube channel is my well of wisdom. I'm just gonna keep dipping in there, watching sessions, getting something, picking up some nuggets of wisdom from it. And like I said, I subscribed already, so I'm there day and night most of the time watching. And if I have 15 minutes, I go in there and
Yeah, but Lolia, what you have to do is
thank
at
you
the
so
same,
much.
what you have to help is actually in help in cataloging. It'll really help. So when you're going through it, if you find certain keywords that you think are important, let's put it down together. Maybe you can we can create a separate sheet for it or whatever. Let's put those down. And in terms of the movies, there was a yesterday's session. Ruzana was talking about the best of enemies. She's like that. So maybe you could watch that. I started watching it, but I haven't finished it. So that'll be interesting.
Oh,
so the best of enemies was interesting. So
yeah.
Okay, so I'm saying that whenever you say you're watching something and you feel there is a clip that can be taken out of this video, just send me the minute. This minute to minute was something that we should put out separately, because that's the next thing to happen. Let's take out the important. All of them are important. I'm not saying anything can be left out, but let's put it into sections, create smaller videos, and we'll send those smaller videos out. So you can easily tell me from this minute to minute, you should put it out separately, and then I'll find some way to get that out, clip out. So so those are things that you people will have to do, because there's so many videos out there. Each one of you, while watching You can just note it down. That's all you need to do. Send a message that, okay, so and so a video, this is what I think is important, and that's how thing will grow. Yes, Jeannie, what do you think?
I think these are all terrific ideas. It's really neat. And I like not just the geographic, but topical matter for circles and ways of connecting. And as I said before, using LinkedIn is so good. Cheryl and I have already connected just during this session. So that's wonderful. I do think in terms of maybe Vikram, if there's a way for, because I think Lisa was concerned too about you being so, having to do so much. When we were doing the session on community mediation, which Mark was sort of chairing, or he was the first person to talk about it, and I had stepped up as well. And then he reached out to Charlie Pillsbury. And then he put together sort of a panel, and we met separately before coming together. And so there could be a way of making it a little easier on you. So that if you were to say, well, Mark is going to chair this session and I'm going to, have my lunch or whatever, so that, and would give people, you might bring in some voices like Mark reaching out to Charlie, so bringing in those different perspectives, if there was a way, the people that you trust, like Mark, to then move into sort of your role for some of the sessions.
Exactly, that's the whole idea. But Christina wants to leave. Thank you, Christina, for coming in. And before you're leaving,
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Vikramji.
Oh yes, that's what I was waiting for. That's the one I want.
Because I have an interethical session, Mehdi, and it's very important in 1 hour. I'm so sorry. It was grateful. And if you ask me about this project, I'm ready. Always ready. So thank you very much.
Yeah, Christina, what you have to think about is, what are the various mediation circles that you think you would want to create or be part of? So we'll start putting that out there. So that
in my mind is very interesting. So,
well, interestingly, like this, Christina, you were doing work. Say you were doing work with these football associations. So they can be actually, you can go that specialized football association mediation circles. So then people who are connected to that world, then they can start connecting all over. So that in a way you have a pool of resources available also to people from other parts of the world, because I'm going that specialized. I'm saying we can go down to that specialization on the topic, then on the area. So Ghana, Cyprus is one. So we can actually create lots of these interesting things out there.
Yes, it's a good idea what you're thinking, because something closer I'm doing also. So this is actually, this association members and cycles is a very good idea. It will be, I guess, more useful for us, and also for connection between worldwide, between mediators. So my great colleagues, it was honor for me to attend and see, I'd love to see you, to see each other more closer offline. So thank you, Vikramji.
Right. Thank you very much for coming in. So thank you. See you. But Jeannie was saying something. Where did she go? Jeannie's there. She's there somewhere. Okay. So to mark the whole idea of Jeannie's there. Yes. So Jeannie, the idea is this, that then obviously each one creates those, my involvement of, if it is goes out in that larger circle, as in mediator Vikram aspect come in, that I definitely, the people involved are very important who are putting it out, because what goes out right now for me, the person and what goes out, I think we need to be very, very careful about it, because lots of messages have gone out, and I know a lot of those messages has not been correct. And I've had to some places undo those messages, and it becomes a little bit of a problem that you create, because mediation finally is that blind man and the elephant story. Watch that one on neuro-linguistic programming and mediation. Joel Lee in that has also spoken about his example of the blind man and the elephant and mediation. So I think that part of it is important. That's why it's I am a control freak. That I told you, you know that, everyone's seen that. That is one part of it, but it's because the message that has to go out. Once you know the person who's putting it out, then all that whole concern goes out. But because I'm telling you, everyone has so much to learn from each other, but who is actually telling the other person who's talking about it definitely is important for me. I'm sure for all of you. I'm sure it's for all of you. But Jeannie, what you have spoken about, the terminology thing, everywhere I keep pushing that. Jeannie has spoken about this. From parties, we have to move to participants, because Elizabeth, Jeannie in her session was talking about how from the court system, language has come into mediation. We have to move away from that. Let's connect people to something, and not, this is not that adversarial thing happening. Why parties? Why not passive participants? Why opening statement? Why not orientation? Things like that. So that is also a very interesting aspect of how we have to develop mediation. So these are good thoughts, Jeannie. Good thoughts.
It's something that I think really community mediation plays a major role in. So I don't claim them, but I do think it's important that if we really are going to distinguish mediation from the court process, we really do need to be attentive to the language we use.
The only thing we haven't heard, a politician. Nanchang, what happened to you? Where have you disappeared? He gave a nice speech in that mediation, a profession. You had to hear him. He was like so passionate about what he said. I don't know what happened to him right now. I actually showed that clip in another session, in another session of mediation, a profession. Nanchang, are you around or not? Okay, he'll come in. So basically his point was that let mediation or these certifications and all, because in a way it becomes an entry barrier for some people. And he was speaking about the villages in Nigeria and being able to have people who are on the ground working. They should not be in a way disconnected from the entire thing, because some people are mediators, the ones with the certifications, and these people are not mediators. So I think that part of it, interesting things. I'm just putting it in very brief kind of thing. So any other sessions that anyone wants to talk about? Anything that you want to highlight for people? I'm saying all of them are important, all of them are good, but yes, Mark.
I just want to highlight yesterday with Professor Baruch Bush, and mainly because the book that he wrote, The Promise of Mediation, many years ago, has been used in many, many different places and in law schools and so forth. And as I listened to him yesterday, I've been familiar with his process, but there's nothing quite like listening to the author of a book. And I agree with you, Vikram, when you did talking to people about the books, it's kind of like going to the concert as opposed to listening to the record, or any number of, or seeing it on TV as opposed to seeing it on a live stage. There's something about having the live person who is literally the master, as he is, of transformative mediation, explaining his view. And I'll tell you one thing that I was heading toward at the end of his talk, which unfortunately, it was getting kind of long and I didn't want to get into a whole huge discussion, but this whole idea of brain science, he's talked about so many wonderful things in his view of what happens with people when they're in conflict and they get reduced and lowered. And he talks about the cycle of vicious cycle. And then when it turns into the virtuous cycle, it goes to a higher end. I'm starting to think in terms of the way people are talking about the lower brain and the higher brain. And there's a lot there that people have been developing, especially in like the collaborative community where I've been practicing, about the aspect of your brain that's running the show when you're in conflict. And Ken Cloke has written about this so I think in terms of the future of mediation from an academic perspective, I think the study of brain science is huge. It's huge. It is uncharted territory, but at the moment anywhere, there's a lot going on and people are developing it. But Baruch's presentation kind of reminded me that there really is kind of a lower brain operating when we're in conflict and a higher brain when we're trying to resolve it. So I just wanted to mention that. I thought his talk was really quite wonderful.
So based on this, like I said, Mark, that if there's anything that comes out as a topic for you, we can have a whole symposium on that topic. If anything to do with the brain and mediation, if you want to call it that, I'm okay with it. We can do one whole symposium on that. So that's what I'm asking you. Is there something that's coming out as something which needs more discussion? I'm saying all of them need more discussion. I'm not saying that we can leave anything out. But if this you feel is a highlight thing, Jeannie is going to tell us. Yes, Jeannie.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question, Vikram. What was a highlight for you in this whole? Because you are the only person that I think attended every session.
Yes. Actively attended them.
Who actually was there. I don't know that anyone else came close to go.
It's debatable whether he was listening.
No, this
Well,
is well said.
and
Actively, I had to be participating because I had to ask the next question. So I have to
right,
be right there.
That is a good
you
one.
you really have that big picture, and you had people from what from we have 5 continents just here today on this Zoom call. So you really do have that global perspective. So from your perspective, where do you think we need to be spending some of our time and energy?
Look, let me start from the basics. The point is that first of all, you want to create the whole environment for mediation. The one is, let's not take it into that technical aspect of it, which one direction it has gone to. That's what. Let's not go there. Let's connect. Again, I'm going back to the last symposium. Let's connect people with the process. But while you're connecting people with the process, the framework that you have to give them has to be very simplistic. So legal framework, certain things are required, but certain things are not required. Do not go into that. Again, I'll talk about colonization. Don't go into that mindset. Make it simple for the people, but still protect certain aspects. For me, right now, legislation seems to be an area where, because of the Singapore Convention, countries are looking at domestic legislation. And I feel the people are going really wrong there, because you are going to alienate people from the process. Today, the user, there are not enough users there, because I think people have not been connected properly with mediation the way they should have. Court system playing a part, so we need to work on that to be able to get that out of the mind. You yourself said that, Jeannie, disconnecting from the court system in terminology, but that's not all. We have to disconnect them from the whole thought process behind that adversarial system and that connection with it. So that part of it has to totally, according to me, those are areas which a lot of work has to be done. So Catherine is here. Catherine gave a nice session yesterday on the European Union. Hi, Catherine.
Good evening.
How
How
are
are you?
Good, good.
Fine, thank you. Sorry to be a little bit late,
No
but I
problem.
had another meeting, and thereafter I have a board meeting. But I wanted definitely to be here to say some words about what I have heard yesterday, especially.
Yes, please tell us. Please tell us.
Can I?
Yeah.
Or is any other
Oh, no,
panelist speaking?
Your floor. Floor is yours. You can, please. Because the floor was mine, now I've given it to you. No one really wants to listen to me. They ask me questions, but they don't really like to listen to me. So please, your show.
Thank you. So first, I wanted to say publicly that I appreciated very much what Cheryl said yesterday. It is very, very interesting. I intend to listen to the entire video and to send her, as I said to you yesterday, a message. And possibly I will ask for further information about what she said. And I must say that I'm a little bit curious, although this is not in my character, but with a good sense, I am a little bit curious to hear where she had, in which capacity she has learned all these wonderful things she stated. Because I have heard, as I said yesterday, during philosophy lessons, during yoga lessons, during life coaching sessions, and I wonder whether she is also a coach. This is for Cheryl. Now, about what you said yesterday, I have worked on it very, very much since yesterday. And I would like your confirmation, what you said about conciliator as compared to mediation and arbitration. And I would like your confirmation to see whether I have understood correctly. So you said that in India, there are legal dispositions providing compromise, which is exactly the same in Greek legislation, since ever. There were dispositions allowing compromise, with the difference that in Greece, we have to have the agreement accruing out regarding the compromise to have it ratified by the court. You said yesterday that Indian legislation is very flexible And I can add, very efficient, because it allows the concerned persons either to call the process conciliation, and the third party conducting this process, the conciliator, and then when they reach the agreement, they can call it compromise, stop there, and have a document which is equivalent to a court judgment. If they prefer, they can call it mediation agreement, and then have it enforced by application of the dispositions of Singapore Convention. Or if they prefer, if they have started arbitration before, they can bring the agreement before the arbitrators and have it included in the arbitration award, and then be in a position to make reference to New York Convention. Did I understand correctly?
What I'll do is I'll break it up in two parts. When I keep saying that India has the best legislation, we were just about talking about legislation because they were asking me what are the important parts which came up. The point is the legislation is nice and simple. That it is called conciliation. I told you for the reasons why it's called conciliation, because Citral was using that word when we took it in 1996. So we have had the best legislation on mediation. I keep saying it's on mediation because we have to understand what mediation as understood today by the world, when people who signed the Singapore Convention have taken that definition. So mediation is just any process, whatever name called, the third person assists you in resolving a dispute, but does not have the authority to impose a solution. So just test your legislation against that. The conciliation that I'm talking about, tested against that definition, is mediation. So in their model law also, Citral has, of course, clarified, and they've kept clarifying it. Everywhere they've been trying to clarify this. Please don't get confused. They're the same. If a country has a legislation which defines mediation and conciliation differently, that's perfectly all right. That's for that country to look at how they're looking at it. But countries where there is no such definition, you have at least some definition to go to. That's one part. Very flexible, our legislation. You can appoint whom you want. No bar, no qualification, nothing. So it's a people's process. The whole process goes out the way they want to, total flexibility there, their process. The important things that we needed to legislate on was confidentiality, because that's what we keep saying. Now confidentiality is protected by law all over the country. We just have one uniform law. We don't have different states like in the US having different laws. We have one law which governs the entire country on conciliation, which is mediation. So that's protected. Without prejudice, protected. Mediator not being called in as a witness, protected. So all those basic things that legislation needs to protect, just protect that. And that is done. Everything else, leave it to the parties. They are smart enough to identify the person they trust to bring in as a conciliator. And I'm saying that's a mediator. So all that is protected. Now, at the end of it, that settlement agreement, just a written agreement signed by the conciliator, is as good as a consent award, because it is the framework is put in under the Arbitration and Conciliation Act. And I told you the reason for that. Reason was you have to give grounds for the court to not enforce it also. They don't have to enforce every settlement agreement. So the grounds are the same that apply to an arbitral award. But that was the framework created in 1996. Today, with the Singapore Convention coming in, this can be a standalone legislation exactly in the same way. Only thing is that that settlement agreement will directly be a court decree, and you can put the grounds for refusal for enforcement in it. So that is easy to do. But I was talking about the two words also to you, that why mediation, conciliation, both the words are required in a country. Because if you're in an arbitration and I say that you go for conciliation, then you're out of the arbitration. So once you get into a settlement agreement, your dispute is resolved. You can't come back to the arbitrator. But because in our country, that conciliation settlement agreement is as good as a court decree, because it's a consent award, you don't need to go back to the arbitrator. But some people might want to use the New York Convention. So for them, they want to stay in their arbitration. So why should they go out of it? Go out of in a legislation which is totally different, where the provisions are different, that settlement agreement has a totally different standing. They don't want to go there. They want to use the New York Convention. So that's why the two words are there. in our case, we have mediation and conciliation, both the words used in the Arbitration Act. So if you want to stay in the arbitration, you go for mediation. So you're still in the arbitration. You get into a settlement, come to the arbitrator passes a consent award, which in our country is as good as a court decree, and that can be enforced under the New York Convention. So you need to give both the options to the people, because similar in the courts. Now look at the court system. If you use only one word, you are going to either stay in the court system or get out of it. You give the people the option. If they use the word mediation, they stay in the court system, come back with the settlement to the judge, pass a decree. That's obviously that decree is enforceable as a decree, but they don't want to. They want to use supposing the Singapore Convention. They go out of the court, get into a settlement which is under the conciliation. That by itself then can be used under the Singapore Convention, because if they had gone to the court and got a decree, they would not have been able to take advantage of the Singapore Convention. Because Singapore Convention, their court decrees are not covered under this. So all three together have to work. So arbitration has the New York Convention, Singapore Convention, of course, and the court, that part of it will have their own domestic advantages. If people want to stay there, that's their confidence, because over time we have to create confidence in people that that settlement agreement signed by a conciliator is actually as good as a court decree. So when parties take it for enforcement, court should not refuse enforcement just because it is under that act. They should actually give sanctity to that act, which is what courts have a duty to do. Then people will have confidence. This privately also, we've entered into a conciliation and got a settlement agreement. It is as good as a court decree. They'll get that confidence. Once that word of mouth spreads, and I'm talking about large countries with large rural populations, if in a village you get that signal that we can sit together with the conciliator, and all we have to do is put it in writing, and the conciliator signs it. Tomorrow, when we go to court, we can enforce it as a court decree. Look at the empowerment of the people. That is the stage we have to reach. So that is why I'm saying the framework that we have, we should be discussing. Our own country doesn't accept it. In our own country, people are saying we don't have a law on mediation, and I have to keep fighting this aspect. What is mediation, first of all? Let's pick up, where is the definition? No definition in our legislation. Where do we go? Let's go to the Singapore Convention, have a look at it. Is our conciliation covered? Yes, it's covered. Then why do you keep misleading people? I'm saying today we have the best framework. It can't get better. Only can get better to the extent that you can make it into a standalone conciliation legislation. You don't have to connect it to an arbitral award. It can be a settlement agreement which can be directly enforceable, and you have the grounds for refusal in that, the way you have it for the Singapore Convention. Just put those grounds there. Nothing else is required. And UNCITRAL has done a good job in making a model law on mediation, but consider these two words to be required in a country. That's a larger picture, Catherine, but I'm sure I spoke a little too much and a little too fast, maybe. So we'll break it up into smaller conversations. Does that make sense?
Thank you very much for repeating this. And as I've told you yesterday, I intend to write an article and mentioning your name, of course. And today I would like to add a question, being that, do you allow me to send you emails by putting further questions if needed?
I'm happier that whenever you want to talk, just send me a message. Let's talk. I enjoy talking a lot more because you can actually put out a lot more thoughts. If you ask me to write, I might not be able to reply because I'll be either setting up some meeting or something or the other. But you have a conversation, we can do it really fast. So have a conversation. I'm always available. I'm the most accessible person in the world, I think. Just send me a message. Let's have a conversation. We'll immediately have a conversation.
Thank you very much. The important thing is that you allow me to put questions to you for further explanations if needed. Thank you very much.
Anytime, Catherine, please, anytime. So now we were talking about what are the takeaways from the conference. So Elizabeth I don't know whether the important things that we were talking about, I'm telling you, like what Catherine just came back with. I think legislation in every country, I think today is something that we have to start considering as the important part. Everything else, of course, is important. What do you say is not important? I think another thing that we came out with today, we had a short discussion on that. on mediation, restorative justice, and Islam. Similarly, let's look at it from, say, in other religions also, and connect people to something they might be familiar with, and not alienate them from the process. So, what do you think, Mark? Any thoughts on that? Yes, you have to go.
Yes, I'm just in the process of sending you a message saying I have to run, but I think it's a wonderful idea, especially in connection with the whole subject that, again, Henry has talked about and Baruch has talked about, and, you know, the nonviolent communication, sort of taking stock of where we are with our prejudices and our biases and our preconceived notions about people, you know, as a starting point to really kind of be in touch with ourselves and to be open. I just love the idea of, in the context of mediation, of course, but also in the context of larger cultural, intercultural exchange, to be really open and careful about, how we see other people and get to know people and everything. I just think it's a great idea to have an intercultural type of dialogue like you're suggesting.
Well, I think why that dialogue was important is because sometimes what happens is that you talk about religion and you say, okay, practices in a religion, but there might be cultural practices. So, and then certain aspects get a bad name. Let's say they get a bad name, but actually those practices today you might be talking about the same practice in a different name. You might giving them some other terminology. So I think we need to go beyond all those labels and go to the process and see if that whole thing is available to us, that whole knowledge base, those practices, cultural. I think we should bring them out. So Jeannie had something to say. When she's rubbing her hands, it means something nice is coming up. But first, I think Lolia also wants to leave. She has kids coming in.
Yeah, my kids are back from school. They've been bugging me. They need some attention. So I need to leave. But I'm so...
Today's key word seems to be G. Mark also writes Vikram G.
Yeah. I'm going to be saying that from now on.
Wow.
Let me calling you that from now on. But thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you invited me to be part of this in my own small way. I'm so grateful that I was able to meet other fellow mediators around the world, and I'm definitely going to keep in touch. So you'll be seeing some messages from me, some connections on LinkedIn and so on.
Look, I told you, messaging, of course, okay, that happens. Replying or not, replying happens or not, I can't say. But at least this aspect of the mediation circles and all that, please drop in Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 8:30 India time. And let's look at what we would develop in Nigeria or otherwise. Let's take that process through. So thank you very much, Lolia.
I will. Thank you.
You were the first one who you said part of the dispute resolution revolution that you are part of that. So you have to take things forward.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yes, Jeannie, you were saying something.
I'm just saying also goodbye and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you very much. See you. Thank you very much. Umaji's just come in. Yes, Umaji. But without unmuting, I'm not going to allow you to talk.
I'm sorry, I lost the power here for some time and so I couldn't connect. So I think I missed out on a lot of the discussion, which could have helped me to understand how this was being taken.
Now we're down to the fact that is there any particular session or sessions that you want to highlight? If there's anything that you watched and you feel that, because I'm telling you, people might not be able to watch all of them. So if they hear your little brief on it also maybe helps.
No, as you said, whenever we have time and whenever we want to look at a particular thing, we can always log in and find out information there. So that's there. But today, as I have been saying, I think not only addressing the grassroots level, it also has to percolate to the lower levels. And so what mediation we are talking about, I mean, the ethos of mediation, the culture of mediation has to develop from the student level. So I feel that, I'm doing just conflict management programs for colleges here. And I have found that students are very, very interested. So if we are able to change their thought process at that time, the graduate level, I think they would be able to connect better when they have a problem and they may be able to sort it out. That's one thing. And the other thing is, I think involving people from other fields also, because just lawyers are not enough. Today we need other people who can join. And though we did have in our in Chennai, at least, we had co-mediation initially. Later, somehow it was dropped off for various reasons. The High Court felt that it should not go on. But I think co-mediation in a way helps a lot because you learn from each other and sort of you are able to supplement styles which help people to, take this forward. So I think somewhere along the line, if we are able to set up something where there's a possibility for not just shadowing, to be part of co-mediation, to have a facility where you can discuss your styles, exchange notes. So in that way, this, forming your circle is a good idea in the sense that you're working in that particular area, you address the issues in that area, you understand what is the culture there and you understand what is necessary there. So sometimes you may be able to relate to somebody, say in Mexico or in Australia, and they may have had a similar problem which they had tackled or which they felt they could share. And so I think that way we'll be able to build up a momentum that will take this forward. And so I think, yeah, starting from the base level, this pyramid has to be built. And how we are going to...
No, we're doing circles, no pyramids. We're doing circles now.
Circles.
I'll tell you, no, Umaji, I'll tell you what. That school, if you're in Kodai, that there is that one school that you have, which is quite a well-known school.
Yeah.
Let's create one. I'm asking people, what am I telling them? Just pick up one school, one residential community, one workplace community, one organization that is. Just pick them up. If you can work into a business community, damn good. But okay, maybe you might not be able to get into. There's a chamber of commerce or something, maybe there. Just go into.
What you say, Vikram, is right. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I remember reading that in Sri Lanka, they were able to develop mediation only because of chambers of commerce.
Yep.
See, down south, I have been to a place called Teni where there is a spice market. It's on the border of Kerala. So you have all these spices, pepper and zira and all that, So they have, when I went for an orientation program, they told me that they would like to be trained because they have small claims between them and they would like that to be addressed. So we have to identify where there'll be a commercial aspect, where there'll be a cultural aspect, all those things.
So
and these circles have been formed according to that.
So what I'm saying is each one wants to be part of this. Just for the starting point is pick up one school, one organization, one residential community, and if possible, one business community. Just pick them up, just one. Talk to them. We'll create a circle in each of these just to start with. That's where your grassroots connection comes in. We start from there. Yeah, we just start there. So one mediation circle develops in that school. What is my circle? My circle is so simple. Please ask the people who are those people they trust in both ways, in terms of helping them resolve a dispute in relation to as a mediator and the other as a peacemaker to bring people together. That's all. Just identify these people. You are available to them. Obviously, you can explain if they need to understand something. So you create that atmosphere there. No one else is required. So they're independent by themselves, but you're available to them. Same thing with the business community. Same thing with the organization. Being available, but still being able to create there. Only then we'll be able to reach numbers. Because if one mediator thinks that I can cover the entire country, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But if we can each create that and make that into an independent thing functioning, but also at the same time connecting to the larger whole, they'll connect to each other. So the school, the mediators in the school will connect to mediators in other parts of the world, in other schools. They'll share knowledge with each other. They'll work together. So that's how things will grow. A thought.
I guess, yeah. I suppose.
So I'm just, to start with, it's as simple as that. These 4 things you can pick up and just talk to them there and help them identify these people. You'll see that I told you last time also, you'll be happy when you meet those people whom they identify. You'll feel so happy. You'll say, wow, they exist. I don't have to tell them anything. And now I'm bridging the gap between my skill development training. What I've been now telling people is that there is something which is required by people who don't have the mediator mindset. Call that training. But for the people with the mediator mindset, let's call it skill development. Is that okay? Okay, balance? Okay, Umaji? Now you're okay? I've balanced it out. Because I'll tell you what I came up with. There is this whole concept of conflict coaching which is coming up. So a person who doesn't have the mediator mindset, but otherwise wants to learn those things, you people will have those training programs. So you'll be connected to that community. You'll be doing that. That gives you livelihood. I mean, of course, a lot of things will give people livelihood, but that's another area, source of income. So I want mediators to be actually earning money out of the work they do. Then there's a larger role that you have to play as leaders, mediators as leaders. That is what the next step is. That's how the movement grows. That's when the benefits come in, when we have those millions of people out there with the mediator mindset, actually working through mediation. That's what they do. That's, yeah, I mean, it's a thought that we've started today. We'll look back to next year when we finish.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll take it forward.
Yep. So, but Catherine, did you watch any of the things, any of the sessions?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say bye to everyone.
Bye, Elizabeth. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mediator Vikram for machines. So happy to meet everyone.
See you then. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Even I will have to go away from because I have
Perfect.
someone. Yeah. Thank you.
What I can do is, Catherine, is it any specific session that you want to talk about? Did you watch anything? Did you watch any of the sessions? Did you watch any of them?
Since yesterday, no. But thank you very much for sending me the video about Socrates and mediation. I will definitely see it.
And the other one? I sent you two. I sent you one about the Crete also, with Christian Chatterjee, who worked in Crete. He did his research on the mediation in Crete. I sent you that also.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, I will look at it as well, and I will come back to you. And I wanted to add, if you allow me, that you said a very important thing yesterday about why, in what way we should consider mediation, and that it is a big mistake to drag people or to try to drag people to mediation by underlining the deficiency of the court system. To say, oh, the court system is bad because you have to wait 10 to 15 years, because it is expensive, because this and that. And this is, as you said, and I admit, I had never thought about this. It is very, very useful to notice this and to try to put aside this consideration and to focus on attracting people by setting forth the advantages of mediation.
Yes, absolutely.
And not the disadvantages of the court. Exactly. Because if we set forth the disadvantages of the court, we have people who are terrified, who are disappointed by the court proceedings, and they say, okay, I will go to mediation. Yeah. This is not the right way to promote mediation.
And tell you, Catherine, and then the part two of that. Part one is, of course, you will be scaring them on the court system and everything. Part two will be that actually they did not benefit from the mediation, because finally, what are you going to tell them? It's going to take 15 years. So why don't you settle right now? So the person doesn't go back happy. So they will not take back a good word of mediation to other people. They say, oh, I had to do it because obviously the court would have taken so long, so I did this. That's not the way we want to promote mediation. We want to create an environment that people want to collaborate. They want to understand each other. We have to move more towards these value-based negotiation is what I'm talking about. Why do you want to end at interests? Aren't there values that we have to take forward? So I think we have to give it the larger picture to it. I think that's where the humanistic approach, just the human touch, you have to connect with each other as humans. That aspect has to come from within. So the adversarial system, connecting mediation to that, is taking it into a totally different direction, and we're missing out on the major advantage of mediation and what people can connect with.
Yes, and I think that the education of people to peaceful resolution of their disputes, any disputes, not only commercial, civil, or whatever, the disputes within the family, the disputes in school, influence very much the expansion of mediation. And I wanted, if I may take 2 more minutes.
No, as much. I have no shortage of time. Please, as much as time as you want. Yesterday also we went on for so long. There's no problem at all.
Thank you. So I wanted to say that we believe very much in school mediation. And we try to promote school mediation because we are convinced that in case, especially now in our days, when we see children killing each other and all what happens in school, we strongly believe that if children are educated since they are very young to solve their disputes, what kind of dispute may children of 10 years have? You have taken my pencil or things like that. But if we instruct them in seeing the benefits of not fighting with their schoolmates, I believe that when they will become 18, 20, 21, they will be already familiar with the way of settlement of disputes, which leaves room to continuation of the relationship with the other parties.
Absolutely.
Do
But
you
I tell
agree with this?
Yes, Catherine, I totally agree with you. But let me tell you that a little bit of a mistake that has been made in relation to promoting mediation in schools. Mediation by itself is a skill. That mediator has a certain skill. So that part of it sometimes doesn't get highlighted. The other aspect of being able to manage conflicts, conflict management, conflict coaching, non-violent communication, those aspects are what the focus is on. I'm saying please keep that focus, but that's a separate area. Mediation is actually the empowerment of children when, like you said, when they can sit down and actually resolve a dispute within themselves with the children whom they have identified. That's pure mediation. They identify the children who are going to be their mediators. They they have the process, they handle the process. No outside authority figure should come in, because otherwise they take that same picture into society that someone else will tell us what to do, even dispute resolution. So that empowerment of the children in the school, how I'm going about it is that ask the children, who are those children that you would go to if you had a fight, had a dispute, who actually are already helping children. Just ask them around, you'll get some names. Let create an atmosphere in that school where these children are available to other children. We are talking to the children about, yes, you should amicably settle your disputes. You should, and you have these people, sit with them, try and resolve it. They will themselves approach them. See, these children who know how to handle the entire process, they will handle the process. And at the end of the day, the children will actually be able to see the end result of a process. So they will know, yes, there is a process and this comes out of the process. Today, an abstract concept is being told to them, be good. It's more like be good human beings. Yes, we will tell them about being good human beings. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's a different activity. Mediation is a different activity. Don't, it all gets connected together, so the children don't understand that this is something which is so specific. That's why I'm focusing totally on mediation and keep talking about it, only for that reason, that when you go and say peer mediation, talk about mediation only. When you go around talking about, yes, we are going to do conflict coaching, or we're going to tell you about non-violent communication, do it at a separate activity. Don't merge the two activities. That's the way I'm looking at it. So we create actually spaces which are mediation spaces with children in the schools, where they actually know when they talk to this person will actually sit down, help them resolve a dispute. And that's how they will get the flavor of mediation. And once they get the flavor of it, they'll carry it with them. But at the same time, Christine, the other category of people we need are the peacemakers. So in the same school, there are children who, I mean, we had one session in which Tabitha, her son came in. So I was asking her son, that is there someone in your school who helps children resolve their dispute? So he gave an example. I said, then what does he do? He says he tells them not to fight. I said, that person is a peacemaker. He's not resolving their dispute, but telling them not to fight. So we need that category also. So children who will tell them not to fight and tell them, why don't you sit with a mediator and resolve your dispute if you can't do it within yourselves. So they have this whole category of people available to them. We just have to tell them, okay, this is that person. If you ask them the right questions, they will give you the right answers. And that's how it will grow. My thoughts, Christy, these are my thoughts, looking at after talking to children all over, being able to understand. This is the way I want to take it forward.
In a way, this is what we are trying to do by educating the teachers in mediation. And they educate the children in mediation.
So exactly that's what I'm also going out and saying. Let's bring in the school teachers into the process. Let's call them the peacemakers in the community. They will be the ones in the community also, because the school teachers are respected. Largely around the world, school teachers are respected. So they will be talking about mediation in the school. They'll talk about mediation in the communities, and then they will help in identifying those children with the mediator mindset in the school and those in the communities. And then I don't know, you were not there. I was talking about, as the future plan is to create mediation circles. So we'll have mediation circles of all kinds. One, of course, the World Mediation Circle. There'll be a Greece Mediation Circle. Then even that one school next to your house, whatever that school name is, there'll be a mediation circle in that school. And they'll all get connected, and everyone will identify those people with the mediator mindset, the peacemakers. Will bring them all together. And everyone will benefit from people from other parts of the world. They'll be part of the larger World Mediation Circle. So that's how I'm trying to grow the whole movement, which you are obviously going to be part of, Catherine. You have to help, and we have to create those circles in Greece also.
Thank you very much.
And only thing is, Nanchang did not get a chance to speak. Nanchang, what happened to you? Why did you disappear? Yes, Nanchang. You'll have to unmute yourself.
I did not disappear. I was listening.
Isaac, did not say, keep saying, Nanchang, where are you? He didn't answer.
Yes, I heard you saying that, but we didn't hear any feedback from him.
Yes, Nanchang. So tell us, what is your feedback of the conference? Any specific sessions that you want to highlight? Anything that you want to tell us?
Well, the session I want to highlight is, I want to say, I sent you a message on your WhatsApp to tell you that the greatest mediator has come to to the earth today, and I was up and doing. My wife put to bed a bouncing baby boy, and this morning, and then I just brought them.
Congratulations,
brought them back. Also, I sent you the message. I was when the
Okay, Catherine
was about to come.
Catherine didn't get that. Catherine, Nanchang has just had a boy, a baby boy. So you can congratulate him, Catherine.
Yes.
He's just become a father.
Yes.
He's just become a father. on the basic.
More congratulations.
On the
All
last
the
day of the
best.
conference.
Yes. So he's the one that summed up this conference, and then is going to be the greatest mediator of the world.
Can we call him? Can we name him Ken? Can we call him Ken? Is it possible? Mananjang? Is Ken a name in Nigeria or not? He's disappeared, Isaac. He's frozen. Yes, are you there or not?
He has frozen again.
Yes, I'm here. You said?
Yeah. I said,
hello?
let's call him Ken. And that's what I was saying.
Is it Ken or Vikram G?
Yes, very good idea. I agree.
But where is you've gone home now? Have you taken?
During the
Yes, he bought during the conference. So where is he? Where is he now?
Would you
yeah, Catherine.
Would you excuse me, Mediator Vikram? Would you excuse me? I have to leave because I have to go to the meeting of the board of directors of the Hellenic Union of Mediators. And once again, I would like to thank you very, very much for this wonderful conference, for the big job you are doing for all of us, for having invited to participate as a panelist. And I would like to confirm and to assure you that I am at your disposition. And I hope that we will remain in touch.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I think that it was nice meeting you, and yes, we'll
well.
stay in touch. Thank you. See you. Bye.
Be well and all the best, and to
Thank
all
you.
the panelists as well.
Thank
Have
you
a
very
nice
much.
evening.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Yes, Nanchang, where is your little boy? Where is your
My little boy is, yes, he's taking a nap.
Not bad. Yeah, Nanchang's become a father. Look at him. We not even think Nanchang is now such a serious guy. Now he's become more serious.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't get what you said.
I said now Nanchang is going to change. He's going to become more serious now. He was not so serious otherwise. Now he becomes serious man. He's become a father.
No, I've been a father. This is just the father of a boy. Yes.
How many children? How many children do you have, Nanchang?
Now is the second. This is the second.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Because we know one secret thing about Nigerians, they don't joke with their sons.
They don't?
Oh.
They don't joke with the sons. What is that?
Yeah, and as for Nigerians, their sons, they don't joke with them. Unless Nanchang has a different view.
Yes, it's the hair. It's the hair. It's not going anywhere,
So now I think Nanchang, I think you have to look at a name connected to the conference. What do we have to give him a name connected to the conference? Isaac, what do we call him? We have to give him a name.
Mediator. Oh no, Vikram.
This one will
That's
be
the one.
What name? Come again with the name. Nanchang.
I said Vikram G. That's the name reigning in this conference.
Vikram was suggesting Ken.
Yeah, I'm suggesting Ken.
So it can be. Okay. I don't know whether combination of Vikram Ken Vikram will be perfect.
Okay, that will be VKG. Oh no. Yes. K for Ken, V for Vikram, and G for I don't know the meaning of the G, but that's what
G is just used in respect. It's just used in respect. You call someone G, you're giving that person respect. That's what happens. So yeah, we make a combination. Let's make a combination with Ken. I think that'd be a good thing. That'd be a good start. But otherwise, Nanchang, what has been your takeaway from the conference? Anything specific that you want to tell us? Anything on any sessions or anything?
Well, one of the greatest sessions I enjoyed was the session that we talked about mediation and conciliation. The confusion has been all over the world about the idea that we do not have a law that regulates mediation. But when we look at the Arbitration and Conciliation Act, which most countries do have, we discover that there is no difference between mediation and conciliation. And a lot of people are ignorant of the fact that conciliation is actually mediation. So with the recent development with the Singapore Convention, and then the ancestral model law, all of these things, they have been existing, but they have made a very clear distinction, clarification as to mediation and arbitration, and we get to know from there that mediation and arbitration, whatsoever name it is called, as long as a party is appointed, a third party is appointed to help the disputants reach an amicable resolution without imposing a settlement or a solution. That is mediation. So I believe that that is going to cause a revolution in a lot of, in many countries of the world. People who are not aware of those facts will begin to utilize them. And people will begin to appoint conciliators if they don't have a new law, and then they are going to explore the process and then go for enforcement because it is actually covered under the law. And the idea that mediation is not regulated by any law, I think, is now extinct. So that's one of the aspects.
But before you
Another
go to the next one,
aspect.
before you go to the next one, Isaac, please come in 1 second. Let me tell you, I got the name also. I got the name, Isaac. Where are you now? Now he's disappeared. Okay, when he comes back, then I'll tell you. Then I'll tell you the name. Yeah, you're saying next. The other one is.
Yes, the other one has to do with mediation and the movies. Yes, is it the music movies? The movies, right?
Yeah, the movies.
Yes. So I saw that if we want to promote a revolution in mediation, just as the title of the conference is, by 2022, even before then, maybe by in the next 2 years, if we begin to explore the use of mediation in the movie, and the movie is going to cause a revolution in the sense that a lot of people watch movies, and you can see how it moves as fast as possible. A movie that is shot in India, for example, within the shortest time possible through the net, you will see somebody downloading it here in Nigeria, and before you know, it's circulated all over. And imagine if mediators and then these people who work in these movie industries will settle down and put in a very clear, good, and well-arranged mediation scenarios or scenes in those movies, and then present different kinds of disputes, and then a kind of comparison between the court system and then the mediation as a way of resolving disputes.
Yeah. No, Nanchang, what happened? Rosanna, who's in Kazakhstan, she suggested a movie called The Best of Enemies. Check that out. I haven't also seen the whole thing. She said there is a whole mediation that happens there, so we can check that out. The Best of Enemies.
Oh, that's interesting.
But before that, Isaac, I found the name also for his son. Isaac. Hello, Isaac. I found the name for Nanchang's son. I've been waiting for you to tell him. You're going to call him Kevin. We're going to call him Kevin. Kevin is all right. Kevin is all right. We take from Ken and Kevin is all right. What do you think?
Yeah.
He's going to call him Kevin. Kevin
yeah, when it comes to I'm unable to give specific name because when it comes to Nigeria, they have a process of choosing the name for their sons. So he has to bear the family name and all that because he's the heir to see the father and all that.
Okay, we'll call him Ken. Or Kevin. We'll call him Kevin. Kevin. His name is Kevin now.
Yeah, so we can that will be the AKA.
Yeah.
AKA
for sure. If he can't otherwise keep it, AKA Kevin. That's what we want.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that would be good. So
yes. And I think even Nigeria have done a movie in arbitration before, so why I think they should try something on mediation. I've seen.
Well, I'm not aware of that.
What's the name of that? Do you know the wife of Banky W?
I've heard of, yeah.
The wife. He was part of that movie. I think he was part of that production. I think if they can do something on mediation, I think that will also be perfect.
Okay. Wow. I will try and check up for that.
But Nanchang, any other
Okay.
session that you want to highlight?
Well, I would like to say that this has been a wonderful time and opportunity. I want to thank you, Mediator Vikram, for putting this together. It has been a wonderful and exciting moment. I had the opportunity of sharing on an international platform like this and then interacting with mediators all over the world. The interesting part is the fact that you get in touch or you get to interact with people from different parts of the world, great mediators, people who have been in that profession for a long period of time, getting to hear them speak, express their opinion, make suggestions, talk about the subject matter. Oh, it was very interesting. It was very a wonderful thing. And more importantly is the fact that we now have body of materials that someone can actually make reference to, when you are looking at a topic or you want to check, have an understanding about an aspect of mediation, you can just go online, check up YouTube, and then you go to that particular aspect and then you listen over and over again. So, and then another aspect has to do with the revolution. I think the revolution has started. People who actually want to learn mediation from all these sessions, if someone gives his time and attention to be able to follow the conference, about 93 thereabout sessions, if you follow the sessions from the beginning to the end, I think at the end of it you can certify yourself that you are actually a mediator, so, so and as aside from that, the mindset or the mindset or the restriction that has been placed on the fact that, oh, you need to go for one special or particular training, get a certification, I think that has been debunked, and clarifications have been made so that people who are actually born mediators who are in or are interested in the field will know that they can actually do what they are doing and actually practice as mediators, not necessarily going through all those formalized kind of training and acquiring certifications before they can now be satisfied that they are mediators. So with those informations out there, it's going to encourage a lot of people, especially those who are in the rural settings, who do not even know about some of this formalized training, but that they have been practicing mediation in their own setting and it has been very effective. I think that will be a very a boost to whatsoever.
And always direct them to me. Say, look at this guy. He has no qualification, no training, nothing. He is calling himself mediator.
Well,
you can also call yourself a mediator. Always. I cannot take any. I can't take any certification now because I am now representing those people who don't have them. So I am fighting for them. Just tell them this guy sitting there is fighting for you.
We are going to give you certification. We are going to give you so that we will.
But important,
yeah,
important
Isaac,
thing.
I think we should give you.
but Nanchang, important thing that came out, which I was discussing, I don't know.
Yes, we have.
We were talking about these mediation circles. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that? Were you part of that conversation?
Mediation circles.
What we are doing now, what I'm doing now is to be able to create mediation circles at various levels. So we have the World Mediation Circle, we have a Nigeria Mediation Circle, a Ghana Mediation Circle, we have a school media, some school that you have, a school mediation circle, a larger, maybe a community mediation circle, everything. So all these places, we have to identify those with the mediator mindset, identify some peacemakers, put them together, create a circle there. And then we'll create certain resources for these people to use and make them part of the larger whole. they can benefit from other people around the world and work together. So that's the activity now, which you also have to work on.
Yes, very well. I think I heard from the last speaker. Is it Mrs. Is it Mon? What do you call her? Mana. How do you call that name?
Who's that, Isaac? Mona?
The name.
He disappeared. Yes, Isaac, he's gone. He'll come back. He'll come back.
Oh, he has gone off. Yes.
He'll come back.
So
So I think
yeah, I
I
hope he
think,
comes back.
but Isaac, my telling you is not going to make a difference. All I told you, just identify that one community, residential community, one school, one organization, and if possible, one business community. That's all. Let's start with them. Each one
Sure.
needs to do that.
Yes, what I haven't told you is that when I spoke about the peer mediation, we've put some volunteers together. So we've supplied the schools, our 10 schools with letters. So next month, yes, which is 20th to 23rd, we are going to visit those schools and see how we engage the children.
All you need to do is just ask them to identify those people. Just let's get them together. Then we'll take it forward with them.
So yes, that's the focus. We want to make sure that we identify the people with the mediators mindset within the school, the children themselves.
They identify. We don't. They identify. They will
yes. With our assistance, the student will tell us.
Our assistance is only to tell them what is mediation.
Our assistance is about asking the right questions.
Yes, that's
so that
that's
they will be able to identify the people for us. And also, I think the major takeaway about this conference is about trust. When it comes to mediation, all the things we are saying, everything that we do, if people don't trust you, they will never give their case or anything to you to handle. So the trust, and also we have to also be mindful that when people entrust us and give us that kind of trust, we shouldn't abuse the trust that they also give us. So that is also a major thing.
That's why that's why the focus is to get the right people out there. So that because if there are not enough of these experiences available, one bad experience then multiplies, and there are enough people in this world with a vested interest not to let mediation develop. So we cannot give anyone that opportunity. I mean, I've done that. I know that, okay, sometimes these lawyer-driven mediations, that they're just trying to scuttle it because at least they show, oh, yes, we went for mediation, but they don't want it to go. In that kind of situation, I just stay away. I said, no, look, finally, the parties or participants, as we now are going to call them, the participants have to realize this is their process. That is the most important thing, because otherwise people are sitting there to give it a bad name.
Sure.
So we have to do that.
Yeah.
So Nanchang has this, of course, what I like about Nanchang, Nanchang, and what I like about Nanchang, he's really sorted. He's really sorted. He has some very nice thing. He keeps laughing and smiling in the middle, but he's a serious guy who gives such pointed kind of things. Yes, Nanchang, please give us more about what sessions you took, what takeaway did you have, and all that, please.
Yes, I was talking about Uma Ramanathan.
Yeah.
Yes. So I listened to what she said, and then the fact that there are people, is it students or group of persons who are interested in the mediation, and then trying to see if they can be
Nancha, what I'll do is I'm shutting your
so
video.
I felt very happy and encouraged.
I'm shutting your video so that we can hear you. Yeah, what are you saying? You can keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I said she talks about a group of persons, students who are interested in the acquiring the skills of mediation in her area. So I was very, very happy and encouraged, and then I feel that if she can take up that and actually reach out. Especially, I am particularly interested in lending any kind of help in trying to reach out those people who may just want to. I don't know if you are hearing me.
Yeah, we are hearing you. Oh, and all the children around you,
Yes.
everyone, we're hearing your entire locality. Don't worry. I hope he's not being abused.
Yeah, so,
if no one's abusing you, then it's okay. We don't want any abuses being put out on our show.
Okay. So I'm actually interested in reaching out to her to see maybe the way we can be able to be of help in developing and helping those who are interested in acquiring.
Nanchang, what you have to do is now everything is going to be discussed in relation to a mediation circle. So what is that circle that you want to be part of? So we'll put it out. Okay, this is what is that circle going to be called?
Well, how do you mean? What do you mean about the circles?
I don't know what the kind of activity that you have to do. You want to connect with her, but do what? What is the kind of activity that you want to do?
Well, I want to possibly offer skills development. You said we should not say training.
Yeah. Oh, but I made it. I don't know whether
skill
you heard.
Development.
I was telling.
Oh, he has repented from that.
Yeah. No, to make life easier for you, what I did was I said, look, anything that goes to a person with a mediator mindset is skill development. Otherwise, you want to do things for other people that you can train them on conflict coaching, non-violent communication. You can do that to other people. That's your role in the larger role that you do. But for the people with the mediator mindset, for them it is skill development. So that's how we will do. So I'll tell you what basically, Nanchang, what is happening is that from Monday to Friday, 6:30 to 8:30 India time. And to ask Nanchan to calculate into Nigeria time will be very difficult because it's a little difficult for him to get the math right. Yes, Nanchan? Do you want me to convert the time for you?
Okay, you can if you want to.
Okay, from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock India time, Nigeria time, on Monday to Friday, just drop in. We'll discuss how to take it forward because now it's all about making circles. That's what we're doing, right?
Okay.
Monday to Friday, same link, same Zoom link. Just drop in any day. We'll just be creating circles. That's what we'll be doing. Yep.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Anything about the final thing? Anything about the conference you want to tell us? Anything that you feel that any highlight? Anything else that you took back with you?
Well, if we are going to be talking about this conference, we will not finish today. But as I said, it has been an experience that I think every mediator should be proud of having. And thanks to you for putting this together. And then I think another important aspect that we need to highlight is the business of mediation. Mediation as a business, that's a session that we discussed about. Loretta Fola was there. He took the session and then we contributed. There is this general perception about the fact that people don't value what they don't pay for. So when you offer things for free, people have the tendency of abusing it. And also the fact that, most of the mediation around the world that are connected to the courts, they just feel that, you just go to the court and pay a little fee. And after paying a little fee, you have paid all that you need to for your matter to be determined. So they set up mediation centers or ADR centers, and then they just give peanuts to mediators. And they will appoint mediators who will actually help the disputants resolve their dispute in an amicable, acceptable manner by both of them, unlike the court system that is just a win-win kind of a thing. But a party is able to participate in the process of resolving his own disputes, and he owns the process. He feels involved in the process, and that's what mediators do. But they are not paid the value of what they do actually. So when it comes to the business of mediation, there will be a lot of motivation if mediators begin to earn resources, and then they get something to live by. They are paid for their services. So I think there will be need for that revolution in that aspect of let mediators be paid for their services. If you compare mediation with arbitration, arbitration is very expensive and a lot of people go in for it and they pay for it. But why is it that mediation, even when it comes to litigation, lawyers charge for their fees, but mediators' fee seems to be fixed, a kind of like in Nigeria, you keep emphasizing $40, for everything you are going. Everything you do is $40, those kind of things. So let mediators, let us know that this is a profession and I can actually charge for it. My services is valuable to the society. The outcome of what I'm going to do or what I'm doing as a mediator has much value to the society, has greater value to the society than even litigation because of the results. So let mediators be paid for it. And those who have engaged in a mediation as their own profession and they are doing it happily, let them begin to find a way of adding value, valuing the services they are giving. Because you keep giving, you keep resolving disputes, and some of these traditional rulers over there, they just help people resolve disputes as maybe part of their responsibilities, not as a way or means of actually earning income. And they do a lot of works. They resolve a lot of disputes, a lot of conflicts. So I think that aspect of the business of mediation is one thing to have the skill, is one thing to know that you can make a business out of it, and then strategize and make it actually profitable for yourself. I think that's the idea. And this is also connected with the issue of pro bono and free. Yes, pro bono. So by the time you say, like in Nigeria, we have times we call settlement week. The multi-door courthouses in Lagos does that. That is the time to resolve disputes for everybody for free. Whether you can afford it or you cannot afford it, just come file your matters and then people will be appointed to take care of that. And the funny thing is that some people who have disputes may not actually bring it for in the time that they will be charged. They will be waiting for that free period of time so that they can bring the dispute, let it get resolved at no cost.
I'll tell you what,
for
Nanchang, what I've been telling people yesterday also, today also, I was telling someone in India that tell all your friends in the court system to stop going there to the mediation centers. Up till we are not allowed to charge our own fees, we don't want to do the mediations there. Let's see. Up till everything will get sorted out. It is just a matter of everyone just giving in because no one wants to take up the judiciary. That's where the issues lie. So maybe we have to start talking about it. Why should they not be paid market value? So definitely. So but this mediation circles, basically the idea is that how we can get mediators to actually get money also and to be able to do the larger good also. So all that is going to happen. Yes. But Isaac is feeling a little sleepy now. Isaac, anything, Isaac?
Yes, one thing is we have to also look at when it comes to commercial mediation, the way they draft the dispute resolution clauses. That is also another aspect that we have to also look at.
Absolutely.
If you want to promote
Isaac, Isaac, I think I'm going to organize a webinar that you are going to talk to us about that dispute resolution clauses. I saw you emphasize that very, very well.
Yes, that has been my.
It will be a good one.
Yes, because if you want to promote mediation, that is where, especially with commercial mediation, that's where it starts from.
Absolutely.
Because if you put other mechanism there, then definitely mediation becomes an option, and different option. But if you want to make sure people use it, you
Yeah,
put
but I tell you,
mediation there.
let me tell you, Isaac, the point is that aspect of it, because up till you don't have the right people out there as mediators, for me, actually, that is the connection that has to happen. Get the right people there, then tell the user what to do. So that's where the
Yeah.
movement is happening in that sense, that let's first identify those with the mediator mindset, bring them out.
Yes,
I'm
but
saying,
one thing is also that the user, we are telling the user what to do, but when they are drafting such contracts, it's the lawyers who comes in to help them to
no,
draft.
we'll tell them.
And if those people, what they know is put arbitration there, then it means that definitely they are going to resort into something else rather than
No,
mediation.
we'll educate them. We'll educate them. But right now,
Yeah.
the point is that you will tell them that you put a clause. So then they say, who will appoint? Who's the mediator in that? So you'll have to have some person to do it. So either it's an organization or a person helping you to identify a mediator. But there has to be finally there has to be a person who has to be the mediator. So let's put that pool out there. Let's let them choose from a pool which is some for us has that quality standard to it. So
Yeah.
let's just not push mediation so fast that you have bad user experiences. That will crash. Well, a lot of people are waiting for it to crash. That's
Yes,
where
and
this
let me
will
also say that let me also invite all the young people around the world that mediation is something that they have to take as a career. It doesn't matter what field they are already in. They
Yeah,
can also take
absolutely.
mediation as a career and add it to whatever that they are doing. Because mediation cuts across every field. And every field you can have a dispute there that you need mediation to
Absolutely.
resolve. And also entrepreneurs too should take mediation serious so that litigation does not destroy their businesses and all that. So this is something that young and upcoming up and coming youth should take advantage of and learn more about mediation and take advantage of them. They can also build a career, go to schools within their local community as well. They can also assist people in resolving their disputes. So
Mediation circles, Isaac, it's all
yeah.
about creating those circles and supporting each other, helping each other, collaborating, referring, all that will happen. But we'll create those. So, Nanchang, if there's anything else that you want to tell us, or should we conclude it? What do you want? Anything else you want to tell us?
No, I think that is fine. Let's reach out and see how we can create that circle. Reach out. I'm looking forward to Mr. Vikram. I'm looking forward to coming to India and then to mediate some disputes over there, and
very nice.
that will be an interesting moment. So when I'm there, I will.
Time doesn't go out these days. So
he's an online person. So yeah, you should start doing it online. There is so much work to be done. So please, let's do that. And thank you very much, both of you. And of course, everyone else who was part of the conference. So thank you very much.
Yes, one more thing. I think I will have to reach out to you, Mr. Vikram, so that I will learn. It is so amazing the way you have your way around this computer, the system, the Zoom, and all of those things. Very, very interesting. So,
you have to pay consultation for that.
Isaac, who has appointed you? You see, you are not taking inside instead of you are supposed to be a mediator.
He's on my side. He's on my side. He's looking out for me. Look, everyone is looking out for me. That's the best part. Everyone's looking out for me. So perfect. So perfect. So Monday to Friday, like I told you, we'll create those things. So thank you very much. Right?
Yes. Thank you.
See you. Let me cut
Thank
the live
you for
stream.
hosting us.
Bye, Isaac.
It's
Always
been wonderful having a discussion with you. Thanks so much. Thank you for the excellent work. Today we are giving your excellence to you. Excellent work. Top notch.
Thank you.